Papa-doo-pow, 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 papa-doo-pow. All right, hold on. One more time. One more time. Oh, crap. Thanks, homie. It didn't change.
What didn't change?
I didn't change it from Mallcore.
Oh.
Fixed.
You can change streams, right?
Yeah, it's changed. It's fixed.
Are we live?
We're live.
Oh.
Yeah, we're live.
Well then.
Live.
What did I do last time?
Thriving. You did a little jig? You did a little dance?
I think I watched you, I think.
What did you watch?
Like how I'm watching the screen. I know what I did. I got it. I'm smart.
Are you?
No.
That seems passive aggressive. I'm sorry. Oh man, never go for the face camera.
Oh, we already got called out.
Yeah, that's why I changed it, because we got called.
Cancer culture is out of control.
Cancer culture. All right.
Yeah, we kind of had the issue of like there's a number of bands that belong in S and everything else is just kind of like
Yeah, this is hard. We're
arbitrary.
pretty much doing this on the basis of people last time being like, you should do a screamo tier list, and we're like, okay. And then we were like listening through stuff, refreshing our memories and all of that jazz, and we're like,
I remember why I picked 5 bands to listen to.
Wait, see, I already screwed up. We've got La Dispute on the list twice somehow.
Well, we're not getting paid to do this, so.
We're not?
Not yet.
Wait, but they're not in the files twice, so why did they get included? Oh, they are in the files twice. That's my bad. I can edit that, though. That's cool. We're fixing it. It's still early,
Did you type the modem wave makers of screamo?
Modern.
Oh.
The modem wave makers. I'm just fudging it all up. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we're still getting cranking. We'll give it a couple. Oh shit balls! I've really, oh fuck! I can't believe I've done this. We got to delete this one.
The person in charge of the list making has been sacked.
Yeah, I'm getting fired after this.
Our intern. We're getting rid of him.
I'm not going to make it through the night
from now on.
I deserve much worse than I get. Let's be real.
Hey, idiot who edits. I'm sorry I called you a greasy incel. I don't remember that I did that, but someone told me that I called you that last stream, so just want to lay it all out.
You want to lay it on the line? You have 2 on the vine.
2 what?
You never heard that song?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a hit.
I thought you were making a joke.
No, I'm just making obscure references to distract from the fact that I screwed up the template.
This stream will be a little different. We're not going to play copyrighted music in the background.
Yeah, we realized that was not a good idea last time. See, look. Yeah, see, Adam was projecting.
Yeah. It was me. Who's the greasy incel?
It was him all along.
I had my hands in the cookie jar.
We all had a hand or two in the cookie jar. I don't know what that means in the context of this, but I made cookies recently and they were really good and I didn't get to eat enough of them, so
You make cookies every day. How'd you not have enough?
I don't make cookies every day, but that's an option. I could make cookies every day. I could do
Why
that.
wouldn't you? If you could do it, why wouldn't you?
That's a fair point. All right, I fixed it. Now we don't have double dispute.
Next time, let's make the rankings spell something out. That's funny.
Sad boys.
You could almost do that with the normal letters. BOIC.
Sad boys.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Yeah. That is a good.
Fail track is fun.
Yeah, it bops. I'm a big fan. As someone who has a major chip on my shoulder towards a certain Rush Limbaugh, I mean, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, but it's delightfully cathartic.
In a utilitarian sense, it's good for the world.
It is good for the world. Yeah. So we're gonna let the people roll in. Idiot who edits. How has the last week gone for you? As we make our way through the middle of February, whatever fucking month it is right now.
Dude, I don't remember what you said. What did your Bandcamp bio say? How did I find you?
Here? No. Look, here's what you have to realize. Adam remembers less of the last stream than I'm comfortable admitting to a live studio audience.
A lot.
Yeah, we need to let's see.
All right, well, I made a full apology, and
yeah, but it wasn't an apology written in Apple Notes, so it doesn't really count.
I'll write it in blood.
Oh shit! Did I just fuck it up? Did I just freeze you?
I don't know. I see.
Move your head. I think I just froze your head.
Uh-oh.
I think we got technical difficulties.
Prepare the please stand by slide.
Please stand by as I fix my blunders. Oh, wait. Yahtzee. I think we've done it.
Yeah, I'm
You're back, baby.
Again. But you're not moving.
What?
On the YouTube video.
Oh no. Oh, fuckity. How did I do this? I don't know how I've done this, if I'm being quite honest with you.
We're really going
by
the skin of our teeth. Oh, I guess it's 9:25.
Yeah, we hold on just a moment.
Is it good?
It should be. Are we back? Okay, I think we're back. We are back. Okay. Adam, talk to me.
I see it.
Yeah, we got input, we got output. All right. Technical difficulties overcome.
Moving?
Yeah, you were moving.
Nice.
I think.
It looks a little blurry from my end, but it might be my quality selection. It is my quality selection. Okay, everything looks good. Yes. I think we're up and running.
I think we are up and running.
Don't touch anything.
Yo, Indian Summer fucks. And Miss the Stars is awesome. I am very curious about what will be on that compilation album. And so I am, let's see if we want to go ahead and kick this thingamajig off. And Yeah. So let's delve right in and
Take it
start
away.
with Portraits of Past, who I spent a decent amount of time listening to for a while and then didn't revisit until basically today, for the first time in quite a while. And I feel pretty positively about them, especially in comparison to a lot of the other bands from that immediate era.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we listened to today was really made us realize like how much of it's kind of in the same ballpark. Like a lot of once the the outline was kind of made, a lot of bands just kind of dropped themselves into it and didn't do anything interesting
Yeah,
with it.
it's
And so like
interesting.
comparing everything to today, like some bands really stood out just for like doing something a little different. I think
Right.
this is one of those.
I think the reason that I find them so interesting is, I mean, mostly because of when they came out. I mean, I feel like they sound way, way, way ahead of the fact that they dropped their like full length in '96, uh, which is insane. I mean, that they were most active like up until '95, and the fact that they still like sounded the way that they sounded is like
Hmm.
bonkers to me. Um,
Yeah,
they were, I mean, innovators in a really big way, but also in a way that sounds a lot more modern than a lot of their immediate peers. And I think they have a lot more modern listenability to them than, again, a lot of their immediate peers. I guess
yeah.
it sounds dumb, but like playing screamo for years made me not want to listen to it, and so coming back to the genre and like revisiting all of the bands that like kind of got me into it
Yeah.
has kind of made me think maybe a little more critically about them than I probably was when I first got into those bands. And Portraits of Past, I think, was a really good one to kind of like rejuvenate that interest, because I'm like, okay, yeah, like this is legitimately good. This wasn't just a thing that I was listening to as a teenager that I thought was neat. Like, this is an objectively good band.
Yeah, you come back and you're like, oh, this is like interesting, and especially like you said, considering how early they were. They're definitely, I don't know, they're like the catchiest of the early stuff to me.
Yeah, they've got a lot of like musicality to them.
Yeah, not that they aren't abrasive, but
Yeah, it's like melodically abrasive. They have kind of like that atmosphere, but they aren't relying on like kind of like post rocky sort of cliches to
yeah, yeah,
build that. It's more so just kind of in the tone of everything, which I really appreciate. Um, Now, the difficulty with having them first on the list is I'm actually maybe kind of considering taking this tier list in a different direction than we did the last one, in that I feel like maybe it's worth discussing a few of these in order and then kind of determining where things go.
I mean, I'm fine with the list being agile. You throw the first one in B, and
Yeah,
as we
that's a
compare
fair point.
bands to the band before, we move them up or down, or
Yeah, and then the next person to come in that sees Portraits of Past and B can yell at us.
yeah, and then they can use their clout to drive it up a ranking.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Everybody wins.
Are a lot of S tier bands, I think, objectively in this list. So I think it's going to take a lot of really raw objectivity mixed with a lot of really raw subjectivity to make this a varied tier list.
As long as it's raw, I'm in.
Yeah,
That's screamo, baby.
that's screamo, baby. Tagline. Yeah, so we're going to leave Portraits of Past in B, not to say that they are objectively B tier, but as a baseline, and then we'll make this a dynamic sort of list.
There's no way they're going down.
Yeah, there's no way they're going down. That's a good way to put it. That's screamo, baby. You put that on my gravestone. Hey-o. All right. So next up, we have the delightfully named I Hate Myself, which,
Wonderful.
I mean, what gets more screamo than that? let's be honest. To so boldly name your band, I fucking hate myself.
Well, it's the single sentiment of the genre.
Yeah. I mean, imagining just owning that so early on, and then I like the pseudo callback with the much more recent band, I Hate Sex. So perfectly in line with the screamo ethos. I hate myself and I hate sex. Brilliant. Top tier.
Proto-incel.
I hate myself and sex. Yeah, go make some fucking ramen. I want to make some ramen. I make ramen at least once a week. I adore ramen. You do
Ramen's
that.
Great. I live like 2 minutes away from really good ramen, and I never go there since the pandemic.
They have ramen where you live?
Tampopo? You ever go there?
No, that didn't exist when I was there.
Oh, it's really good. It's on Market Street.
There was a ramen place here, surprisingly enough, and it wasn't very, I guess it wasn't hitting on much, as it turned into a Korean restaurant.
Hey.
I haven't tried the Korean restaurant.
The 5th album in, I looked at it. I can't remember who it is, but I thought it was a Utada album cover.
Yo.
Utada is S tier screamo.
I was about to say I would probably put Utada higher in the tier list than some of these bands.
Simple and Scream.
Simple and Scream. That's the way that I'm trying to be.
All right. I hate myself.
All right, let's talk about I hate myself. Back to the tier list. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, I hate myself. As I mentioned earlier when we were talking about them, I feel like they share a lot of DNA from a music standpoint with bands like Sunny Day Real Estate and kind of the alt-rocky emo bands. They're just a lot more abrasive and probably a lot more miserable than those bands.
Yeah, they're more abrasive, but the guitar, I feel like the approach to the guitar is pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like the way the rhythm section works, it makes it sound like screamo.
Yes.
And like the chord progressions and everything are much more darker and chaotic, but there's like that. Oh, I just got to I Am Nietzsche by Orchid.
Are you listening in the back?
I'm listening to Orchid right now. But yeah, they have that, like, I don't know, the way the like one guitar is like picking like kind of a simple melody and one is doing more of like a ascending chaotic kind of chord progression.
Yeah,
it has this similarity to like Sunny Day 90s emo stuff. Just in a different way.
Yeah, they have again, I feel like they're a lot more melodic than a lot of the other bands. They definitely have more I don't want to call it driving rhythms is maybe not the word that I'm looking for, but they're a little like steadier in their progressions than a lot of the more chaotic bands that were around at the time. They definitely fill a very specific niche. And I don't really think they sound like any of the other bands on this list either. Portraits of Past is a little bit more stereotypical screamo. Like they're more so like a very good early framing for what the genre sounds like, just done really well. While I feel like I Hate Myself, on the other hand, is in a totally different vibe.
So does it bump one or the other up or down, or are they in the same
ballpark?
ballpark?
I think that we kind of put them in the same ballpark, even if solely based on the fact that they're so incredibly different from each other. And
they're not like an S tier band.
No, I wouldn't call them an S tier
good
band, not personally.
And another band that's worse might bump both of these up. You know,
exactly.
Kind of how we're doing this.
Yeah, I'll drop them in B for now too, just to kind of keep things even. And then then we'll get to move on to a Hot Topic band. Not like the
My
store.
Chemical Romance?
Yeah, well, My Chemical Romance is next. My favorite, personally, as far as real screamo goes, My Chemical Romance. That's the band for me.
I'm not okay, dude.
I personally am also not okay, so
That's
I relate
dark.
to that. I'm Not Okay, and I Hate Myself, and I Hate Sex.
What's up next? Bunny the Bear?
The Bunny the Bear. So, okay, that's a great question, actually. Any bands that are excluded here were almost entirely done so on the basis of ease of personal discussion for us. I picked bands that I felt like I had a lot of repeated listening time with, and I think Adam kind of did the same. So with that, we kind of like put our heads together and picked bands that we had a lot of like really in-depth experience with, either individually or together. And then some of the other bands we kind of like wavered on. We were like, yeah, and then we also determined we wanted to keep the list a lot shorter than what we had on the last stream, because I think we had 40 bands on the last list, and we cut a bunch off of this one because the last one was just way too long, I guess, from our perspective. So, yeah, I like Indian Summer and I like Heroin, but they weren't bands that soaked up a lot of my repeated listening time.
Yeah, we talked about them today.
Yeah.
We listened to so much music together today.
Yeah, it was a lot of refresher moments of saying, am I thinking of this band in the right light? And am I going to come back to this and feel differently about it than I did the last time I listened to it? So, yeah, it's not any distaste for those bands in particular. It's more so just probably less overall repeated listening experience is just the best way I would put it. So yeah, page 99. Page 99. I fucking love page 99, and they're one of the bands that I very consistently return to.
They easily go a tier above these two for me.
I agree.
At least. But I don't think they bump them down.
No.
So for me, it's an easy A tier for now.
Yeah, for now.
The chaos, the punkiness, they just nail that like kind of grindy, power violence influenced kind of sound.
Yeah, they were delightfully also all over the place. I mean, they have such a vast discography in the fact that their discography is much larger than probably every band on this list. And past that, they've sounded very, very different across most of that time. I mean, they had albums that I would say were just straightforward punk albums for the most part. And then, Document 8 is probably their album, like that's the album that everyone thinks about when they think about page 99. And there's probably a reason for that too.
You know what I heard, like going back and listening to this a lot today was, like understanding how much bands like Touche Amore pulled from this specific era.
Yeah.
And a specific band. Like it's like crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, I think page 99 is also probably one of the most largely influential bands. Also, I'm just going to comment on in the chat, Indian Summer and I Hate Myself were the first screamo bands I heard, and I heard them both on the toilet.
Well, that's where they record the albums, so.
Yeah, I was about to say that was actually part of our discussion earlier was I do, whether this is a hot or cold take, I do find myself gravitating towards bands who have a little bit more production value.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same with black metal. I think we're both on the same page. Generally, I mean, like, Transylvanian Hunger, like, that album stands alone, and it sounds like shit, but it sounds great for what it is. But, like, most black metal that's, like, of that era and that style, and, like, screamo's the same way, the lo-fi stuff, just, like, not really my thing. Like, it fits certain albums, but I get tired of it if it's going to be every band doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely respect it from the standpoint of, like, I want people to be able to release music without any limitations, without any concerns for how it stacks up from a production standpoint to the band next to them. And I think that's one of the things that drew me to the genre in the first place was it didn't make me feel like playing music and releasing it was out of reach.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be raw to sound like
Exactly.
what it is.
And I think that's really good in the context of Page 99, in that even their albums that had a little bit more, clarity to them, I'll put it in that term, still sound really, really like raw and heavy and like pretty unhinged.
They do sound unhinged.
Yeah. And they have so many members. There was a point where they had 2 vocalists, 3 guitarists, and 2 bass players.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking insane. I mean, truly.
Chamber screamo.
Yeah, straight up. Speaking of Chamber screamo, I don't know if this is not on the list because I think it's too recent. But Respire is fucking awesome.
I haven't listened.
Yeah, that's probably the band that comes to mind when I think of the idea of chamber screamo. It's there's violins, there's trumpets. It is like absolutely killer. Document 8 is probably the album that I think of when I think of Page 99.
Yeah, I think I listened to 5 more when I was younger. I think I like 8 more now.
Chamber screamo, I think, is probably just like a meme idea.
Yeah. Nothing I say is real.
Yeah, I don't think Chamber screamo is a real
genre.
But
if we want to coin it right now, and we'll call Page 99 Chamber screamo, we'll put them in C for chamber. I'm just kidding.
And I think
I say they're an A tier band.
I'd say we'll put them in A tier for now. Yeah, when I think of chamber bands, I think of bands like any band that has like chamber in the name. I think of not like the band Chamber, like the metalcore band.
Cold Chamber.
Also not like Cold Chamber, unfortunately.
When's the new metal list?
Yo, when are we doing the new
metal channel?
List?
But we could do a new metal tier list.
I would be all in on that. That would be fucking
we could
tight.
definitely do that.
Yes.
We listen to more new metal than emo.
That's actually
That's
true.
probably not true, but
it might be true.
I don't know what Kitten Core is. That
what
sounds
was
like Tumblr.
What was the core that we were talking about earlier, where I was like, I would probably listen to you if you didn't have that genre listed?
Oh, Sparkle Core.
Sparkle Core, yeah. I just don't. I'm just not a big.
I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna talk about emo revival today.
All right, Page 99. You're going to A for now. For now.
Yeah.
So majority
I'd say they're
rule.
a step above these 2 bands easily.
Yeah, I think so too. They're definitely a more refined option. Yeah, so I don't know what Kitten Core is. That the only thing that comes to my mind is it would sound like Nightcore.
Is that on emo TikTok or something?
Yeah, I was about to say I feel like a boomer when I hear things like this. I've never heard of this.
It's like Nancat, but screamo or something.
Actually, I would probably like that. Exactly. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. I don't like I'm fine with stuff like, the stuff that like post-hardcore or emo core, like things like that. I can I don't really use like emo
I never got why that's a thing.
Like
why is cottagecore a thing?
I don't understand the usage of the word core outside of a musical standpoint, and I also don't understand the usage of people just assigning random words to the word core. That is very odd to me. I don't know.
Like, is it because of post-hardcore? Is that the reason?
Truly don't fucking know. I wish I had an answer for you. I really do. All right, so what are we rocking with next? Here we have got Majority Rule. That's actually a perfect one to tackle right after Page 99, I think. A lot of crossover there in the similar vein. Maybe a 2 sides of the same coin sort of thing. I think there was a little bit more. Page 99, I have trouble saying that they're the more nuanced band of the 2, but I think they kind of...
To me, they're the punkier band. If it was like a punk and a metal side of the coin,
yes.
Page 99's like
Page 99's the punk band. Majority
This is
Rule
the metal
screamo
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, off the bat, I would put Majority Rule in A also.
I think I would agree, like, having only listened to them for the first time today, but listening to them pretty extensively today and talking about them, They definitely are pretty high up there in terms of the overall genre where they sit.
Yeah,
They're
they're
really good. You should listen to them.
yeah, they're again. I think this is a great set of bands to start with because what we were talking about before we even went live is we were like, the problem that I feel like we're gonna fall into is be like, this band sounds like screamo, uh, which sounds really lame, but there is kind of that specific stereotypical sound of screamo, with the octave chords and gobbledygook. But every band here on the list right now that we've assigned a ranking to, I feel like sounds dramatically different from one another.
Yeah, that's true. This is a pretty good spread of the genre right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Just wait till we get to the post-rock screamo, and we'll have it all covered.
That is true. What's the name?
Yeah,
of the
if you want to start with them today, I listened to the Red album first.
Yeah,
Interviews with David Frost. I mean, the opener on that album was really good, and that's what kind of like hooked me in. And I ended up listening to almost that whole album, and then a little bit of their split with Page 99, but I didn't get too deep into that. And then their 4-song demo, I think, is what I listened to next. But I would just start with Interviews with David Frost as far as what I've listened to.
I don't know.
I really liked that.
I don't know if you've listened to Portrayal of Guilt at all, but I think Portrayal of Guilt is a really good modern equivalent almost to Majority Rule. Portrayal of Guilt's probably a lot more like black metal leaning, but I think they share a lot of sound structure, and I mean that in a very good way. They're just very metallic screamo, very a good way. They actually use like distortion. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
They're not just like octave chord jangle,
strumming really hard into a clean amp.
Like it's crunchy sounding, it's convergy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Octave chords and post-rock arpeggios are kind of the generic screamo ingredients. Like that's it's easy to make an emotional build-up with the post-rock kind of cliches and just roll with it.
Yeah, and there were a lot of bands in the 2010s that basically just took the Envy model and
rolled with it in a very big way.
And it was cool. Like
as someone who especially
it really works. Like the combination works, but favorite modern screamo band?
That's a good question. That's depending on how modern we want to talk.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking bands that are still releasing albums.
Yeah, I probably need like
Envy.
Envy's a good answer there. I think it would probably be pretty year dependent for me because there are a lot of really good new screamo bands too. Like the genre has seen a very, very positive resurgence. I feel like over the past 5 years or so.
I've honestly not heard much that's come out since 2010 as far as like new bands that have come out since after that date. Most of the stuff I listened to was like that 2010s kind of third wave, I guess is what it would be. Or early 2000s stuff. That's what I was really, and we're getting there in our list here, but that was more my wheelhouse. I don't know. What's your favorite like modern screamo band? I mean, Ampere
is good, but they're still kind of. I mean, we're still looking probably early 2010s with them.
Yeah,
late 2000s, early 2010s.
That's like as modern as I get, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say. I
like Ampere a lot.
When I think modern, I probably think like, if I confine myself to current bands and I didn't answer like Envy, like if I answered strictly like new bands, I heard good things about its name was Epion, and they stand out to me because Gundam name. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually listened to them, though, so I need to add that to my list. Bands that I really liked recently, I liked the Frail Body LP a lot. That was really, really good. Yeah, every screamo band.
State Faults?
State Faults is fucking awesome.
Those
love
guys
State
rule.
Faults.
Clairvoyant was a killer album.
Yeah, Clairvoyant is like... probably one of the best examples
really, really
of the genre, like in a modern level. I love State Faults. I love Frail Body. I really like Crowning. Indisposed is one of my favorite bands that I found when I was living in Chicago. Really fantastic people making probably one of the most unique versions of the genre right now. Highly recommended to anyone who has not heard them.
Kind of old at this point, but and they were kind of generic, but Caravels did it really well.
Caravels is fucking awesome.
As far as like kind of towing the line between like post-hardcore and screamo.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved Caravels.
And they are really good live. Like they sound perfect live. Yeah.
God, yeah, the genre is doing really well right now, in a way that I don't think it was 10 or 15 years ago.
And it's sort of like metalcore too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's a huge
kind
resurgence.
Of rebirth of metalcore.
Mm-hmm.
Not the R&B metalcore.
No, not the R&B metalcore.
We don't talk about that.
No. So, yeah, I guess we'll get back to the list. Yeah. Kid Crash is next. I will say that I was a huge fan of Kid Crash circa 2008, 2009, 2010. They were like my everyday band. I listened to them while I was driving around town delivering pizzas. I thought they were fucking awesome. And again, a really good band to add to the list because they don't sound anything like these four.
Yeah.
The order that this thing randomized this into has been really, really working out. Yeah, Kid Crash is good because they were kind of like a math rock band in a way. Like they were very guitar oriented, kind of swirly guitars, but not post rocky. Super interesting compositions.
Almost more in the vein of like a Fall of Troy or something.
Yeah.
Than like a post rock band.
And I think actually one of the only things that's kind of holding them back on the list for me is that they actually, I feel like, started moving in a very just straightforward math rock direction, which kind of pulls them down a tier for me.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to go the same way we did our last list, it's like also like
genre,
in the genre, impact. Where do they sit? Like things that they release that don't necessarily like fit. You can't really like, if they moved away from the genre, how high can you rank them, you know?
Yeah. That's how I feel
not any
too.
discredit to them, but it's like as far as in this vein, what does their stuff rank? And where do they go from there?
Yeah, like what exactly do they have to offer the genre specifically? And I think they had a really good album that I would call screamo, and then they kind of moved more into straightforward math rock.
So would you put them in B? And would that move anything down or up?
I would be inclined to put them in B, but I would still do it without moving anything. Because
I think that's fair.
Can't make decisions.
I don't know how much better I think I Hate Myself is.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Maybe a little bit, but
again, if we want to talk about these bands, I would say Fortress of Past is probably really high from an impact standpoint, and I would say I Hate Myself is higher from an impact standpoint than Kid Crash. But you know where I'm going now. I'm just going to say it outright. I don't like The Saddest Landscape.
I don't either.
I don't like them at all. I never have, and I've tried almost desperately to figure it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like speaking of when you said, it sounds like scram. It sounds like screamo. That's
to me, it's like the best value version of the genre. Like, if you want to give somebody a band that does the genre but doesn't do it in any particularly memorable way, just to give them like a Cold Stone ice cream spoon of screamo, you can give them The Saddest Landscape. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of these bands do have really short discographies, and I think, speaking of this band specifically, that's maybe why they frustrate me, is that they have a really huge discography, and I've listened to almost every single one of their albums, and I don't like them. Yeah, it's like baby's first screamo.
Yeah, to me they're kind of like Seisha, but I'd rather listen to Seisha.
Yeah, Seisha's at
That's
least
kind
got
of the
more like
vibe I
a
get from them. You can at least
Seisha.
argue for like impact from Seisha or like originality.
Here's the thing, and I'll be honest, half the reason I put them on the list is because I know how much I don't like them. And it's because not only do I not like them, but it almost frustrates me that I don't like them because they're one of the few bands that has a really wide discography in the genre, and I can't get into any of it, and I don't really know why. I just find it really uninspiring.
Yeah. As Fantano would say, it feels derivative.
It's literally by definition the most derivative. The Sixth Golden Ticket is a good song.
That's true.
That is
like all the songs sound like they should, but there's something I don't know.
There's something missing. It's missing some sort of depth or hook. Not
Wait,
even
how are you
hook.
supposed to pronounce it?
Yeah, I've always said Seisha.
Satia? Satya?
Let's here we go.
Do you have to say it with a Greek accent?
Satya. How do you pronounce Seisha? I've always said Seisha.
Maybe it's because of Seosin.
Seisha.
In my mind,
Hey.
Seisha's the Seosin of Screamo.
We did it.
Seisha. Seisha.
I feel like Seosin kind of just stole Seisha's logo and like tilted the O.
Seisha.
I just got to Eternity is Lost on Dying, like the middle part by Saddest Landscape, and I just
Yeah, you're not wrong.
it sounds like Joy Division.
I'm gonna do it, man.
Post-punk tier list.
I'm gonna do it.
I don't like them. I don't care for them.
I don't like them. And
Sorry to make our chat sad.
Well, luckily we don't. I don't feel like Idiot Who Edits has any strong attachment to the Saddest Landscape from the discussion being made so far. And again, I expected kind of blowback for not liking them because every fucking conversation I end up in regarding the genre, they always come up as like a great example of it. And I'm like, I don't fucking get it, man. I just don't know.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Not for me.
It's not for me.
True. I agree.
All right. Yahtzee. Here's a fun one that we almost didn't put on the...
We probably shouldn't have, but
yeah,
it's here.
It's here. We shouldn't have done it. La Dispute. My favorite French band. The Dispute.
I don't know. Like, if we're considering them in context of the genre, I can't put them higher than C.
No, I can't either.
Even though I really like a couple of their albums.
I really liked La Dispute when they came around. But as far as screamo goes, I feel like La Dispute is Me Without You with Every Time I Die riffs. At least that's what their early stuff sounds like to me.
I think you could argue. That
Wildlife is their most screamo album.
Wildlife is their best album.
Wildlife is their best album, for sure.
I think you could argue that they were a bridge for a lot of people into more chaotic music.
Absolutely.
And so I can see where they would fit in this list, but I don't think I could personally put them higher than C, even though I love a couple of their releases. Pretty much everything from Vancouver through the third Here EP. In a post-hardcore list, like easily A tier.
I think so too. Yeah. Again, I almost just put them here solely for a discussion standpoint because I think they're interesting in the context of this particular genre, but they're a very rare band in that I would put them in a different tier depending on the genre that they were attached to.
Where do they go on the ska tier list?
Considering the fact that I like them and I distinctly don't like ska, I would probably consider them S tier, and I don't care if that's like not a good opinion.
S is for ska.
That's
Put 'em on the
actually
ska
that's
tier.
why we don't have any bands here yet, because we haven't gotten to any of the ska bands on the list yet. That's how this
Noted
works.
screamo band Mustard Plug.
Less Than Jake is kind of a screamo band name if you think about it.
Yeah. Because it's kind of got a dude's name like Jerome Stream. J name. He's sad because he's got low self-esteem because he's less than him. It's got all the elements, and then there's a trombone.
And it's got all the elements of screamo.
It's
and then
chamber
there's a trombone.
screamo.
We're just going to start calling every band that has any non-standard instruments chamber screamo.
Yeah, I think that's a good model.
Any band.
Yeah, so a lot of Dispute is a C in this list.
Yeah,
because
I
I do think
agree.
they opened a lot of these bands up, even for someone like me. When I first heard them in like, I don't know, it was 2008 or whatever.
Well, they
Whenever-
definitely opened this shit up to a more like mainstream audience touring with all the bands they did. I mean, you could definitely
Mhm.
say the same for like Touche and Pianos.
Yeah, because I mean, they were like the band that blew up first, I feel like, and then like
In the
Pianos,
biggest way.
Defeater, and Touche kind of like,
A lot
on
of
the
Dispute
backs
had
of
the
that.
most Tumblr appeal.
Yeah,
They had a lot of
Poetry.
all those darling moments, you know?
they had the poetry. Plus, it was a skinny guy with like fringe.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
he kind of danced and stuff. Like, that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and he rocked the tambourine.
Yeah, tambourines were
That was pretty cool.
hot, hot, hot. Yeah. All right, we'll put a lot
I'd
of
say
Dispute
they
in
go in
C.
C. That makes sense to me.
All right, now chamber screamo band. I would set myself on fire for you.
I think this band rules, to an extent.
So this is a very good point. Emo bands have boy names, and goth bands have elegant and innocent sounding girl names.
Like Norma Jean, like Abigail Williams.
Abigail Williams.
Like Gwen Stacy.
Oh my god.
Goth band.
No, I was about to say, actually, that is a distinctly metalcore thing, is just giving your band a woman's name.
It's got to be two.
A full
two-woman name.
woman's name
Yeah.
is a great way to name your metalcore band, apparently.
What the fuck is up? We're Sarah Jessica Parker.
Hell yeah. The first, middle, and last name.
You need a hyphenated last name for egalitarianism.
Open this shit up. We're Catherine Zeta-Jones from Tucson, Arizona.
Sponsored by T-Mobile.
Yeah, when are we getting metalcore bands sponsored by cell phone carriers?
Like jerseys. They have to wear sponsored jerseys.
All right, pick it up.
Hardcore dudes would love it.
Absolutely.
Just give them hockey jerseys with like Verizon logos.
Yeah, we have to start sponsoring Pit Warriors the same way we sponsor NASCAR cars.
That's a good idea. Like the best dancer gets like a sponsored jersey.
You've got someone with like a Little Debbie patch on the back of their jersey, like spin kicking through the pit, waiting for his paycheck at the end of the day. From first to last to middle name.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I would set myself on fire for you.
They have one of the most moving songs out of any of these bands, and it's not even a screamo song. But damn it, what's it called?
I know what
This is our home. So this is our home. That song, dude.
So here's my thing about I would set myself on fire for you. They're one of the best live bands I have ever seen, but I've never got into them on recording. and I don't know why.
I think they're a B, but if you put them in B, you have to move one of I Hate Myself or Portraits of Past up.
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of my vibe. Because there's no way I can say they're better than both of those bands.
I'd be fine with moving Portraits of Past to A, and then moving I Would Set Myself on Fire for You to B.
Yeah, because they're good. They're pretty good screaming for the genre. They did some interesting things as far as like composition. They kind of had like a wide range of songwriting, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. They were definitely one of the most varied bands. I think we're still kind of rolling with we haven't really hit a standard band except for the Saddest Landscape, and I'm considering them non-standard in the way that I don't like them.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got to any of my like favorite bands. Like, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. I like this take when screamo
Except-
bands make non-screamo songs. It's the most tear-jerking thing.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Yeah,
That's a good take.
because
What about when they make non-screamo albums?
yeah, there's a vastly different public opinion on that. But no, I'm a big fan of breaking the abrasion in a way in any
too.
genre. I think some
I
of
think
the
we'll
most.
see. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I was just saying. I think some of the most like impactful moments in a song, like if you just keep it confined to a song, are when a song can be incredibly chaotic and abrasive and somehow break that and become like really melodic or really like quiet.
Yeah, especially in a non-standard screamo way.
Yeah.
It's not like a dude screaming in a basement with a hoodie on.
Right.
It's like some kind of different vibe than that. Like you got like the weird horns and stuff.
That was actually a thing that even to the same degree as screamo, a lot of the early 2000s, mid 2000s metalcore bands did that in a way that I really liked. Like, oh God, who am I thinking of? Nights Like These is a really weirdly specific band. Architects did that a lot back in the day. There's another band that I'm thinking of that I can't quite place.
The Devil Wears Prada.
Maybe in a different way. He wears a slick jacket.
What do you mean? You don't know shit.
Spoilers
You're
in the
100%
chat.
right. You're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I think,
you're not. Who knows?
Yeah, I think.
I like that they had the melodic element a lot more than other bands as far as vocals go.
Yeah.
But they still were definitely like you can't call them anything other than screamo, but they had a ton of like nice, clean singing parts, and I think that like separates them out a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, so the next one is going to be.
They kind of sit in a
one,
similar place to like Circle Takes the Square for me. Not necessarily ranking wise, but just kind of maybe it's the girl vocals. I don't know.
They
have the metallic riffing.
Yes.
Like not as chuggy or not as metal as like some of the more metal bands on this list.
They were
still,
abrasive
like,
when they were abrasive, and they were
side.
soft when they were soft.
Yeah, they definitely had a big dynamic range of like emo to metal.
Yes. It's like, oh God, who is that? The Pax Cecilia. I don't know if you listen to them much, but that's another band that makes me think of that. I wouldn't call them screamo, so I wouldn't put them in here.
Before we get to this next stretch, I'm going to go grab a drink.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'll be right back.
Yo, Jane Doe is one of the best albums of all time. That's, I am really glad that you got to listen to that for the first time. It is, truly tops. Also, For Your Health is fucking sick. I have not listened to their new album yet, but I was listening to them a couple weeks ago, and I think they are fantastic. Again, I kind of think of them in like a mathcore, metalcore kind of adjacent screamo sort of vibe, which I like a lot. And that's a genre that I'm really glad to see making a comeback. Very kind of crazy, panic chordy sort of music. I am a big fan of that. Oh, an album I wish I could hear for the first time again. Whew. God, that's a really hard question to answer. I would say probably my favorite album of all time, at least in my top 5, is Songs About Leaving by Carissa's Weird. And it's one of those albums that stuck with me in such a impactful way when I heard it for the first time. It was one of those things where I was like, I don't know how I haven't spent my entire life listening to this. It was so it was some of the first music that I found so dramatically, mentally, and emotionally draining that I listened to it and then I just couldn't listen to it again for a while. And then it kind of grew to become one of my all-time favorite records.
What are we talking?
I'm just Idiot Who Edits asked, what is an album you wish you could hear for the first time again? And I said Songs About Leaving by Carissa's Weird. Not screamo at all. But a chamber band, if we want to call them that.
Colors by Between the Buried and Me.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
If I could hear that for the first time again. Yeah.
Oh, Spiderland is fucking sick.
Spiderland is really, really, really good.
It really, truly is. I think I was listening to that probably around the same time that I got into Carissa's Weird as well.
Shape of Punk to Come.
Oh, that's a good one.
That for the first time is pretty. F sharp, A sharp, Infinity.
F sharp, A sharp, Infinity. I agree with that.
That unsettled the shit out of
Truly.
me the first time I listened to it.
That was
when the large barge with the radio antenna on it came on. Dude, I laid there and I was afraid. I don't even know of what.
Yes. That was one of the first albums I ever listened to that made me truly, deeply
It was the most unsettling thing I think I've ever listened to.
Mm-hmm.
Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, that's a good one.
If I could hear that for the first time again, dude, like the guitar solo in Soma.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's a lot of albums like this. Yeah, F sharp, A sharp. God, translating the name.
Translated, absolutely, actually. I remember that was going back to that point in my life. I remember listening to that being like, I don't know how it gets better than this.
God, that's actually a really good question.
It really is.
That's really made me remember a lot of very specific memories.
And a lot of it for me, too. I don't know what I'm... some of it's like, I really wish I could hear this for the first time again for, the experience of getting through that record. Of, hearing it and, hearing it live, not live, but as it's occurring to me for the first time. And then the other half of it for me is being at that point in time. That's how I feel about Seosin, is not only would I want to hear translating the name for the first time again, but I would want to be in the shoes of living right then when I was listening to that for the first time again.
Yeah.
Carissa's Weird is the opposite for me. It's solely that album. I don't want to feel the way that I felt when I was listening to that for the first time again. But listening to that from beginning to end, getting to do that for the first time would be very significant.
Come Now Sleep.
Come Now Sleep is a good one.
Trying to think if there's anything in this genre.
In this genre, I would actually probably...
As the Roots Undo.
As the Roots Undo. That was going to be my answer, too. As the Roots Undo is the album that really, really sold me on this. And I used to be so smarmy about that fucking album, too, that there was a kid that I knew that was really, really into classic rock.
Nothing so...
And he used to just tell us that I remember getting in so many arguments with this kid, and he'd be like, "Oh, all that emo shit doesn't take any talent. They're just screaming. They're just yelling." And I remember playing Circle Takes the Square for him and be like, "This shit's ridiculous. Like, you don't even know what's going on here. Like, you can't tell me
I
that
just
this is
got
talentless bullshit."
to Clayton by I Would Set Myself on Fire for You, and it's like a distorted version of Name by Goo Goo Dolls, and I love it. That's a really good song, Clayton by I Would Set Myself on Fire for You.
I love
Wait,
the Goo
what's
Goo
the-
Dolls.
No, is it a Mirror Whisper in My Ear?
Oh, that's Slide.
Slide.
Why
Yeah,
don't
Clayton
you
by I Would Set
slide?
Myself on Fire for You is Screamo Slide.
I'll do anything to make you crave to feel complete. Yeah, Goo Goo Dolls are honorary emo. Goo Goo Dolls are honorary.
Goo Goo
emo.
Dolls are honorary emo, and we're gonna have to cover them at some point.
Absolutely, I adore the Goo Goo Dolls.
I don't care about DMCA.
I'm Goo Goo for the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, NV. This is a good one.
This is a good one. Really good discography, except for Atheist Cornea. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, that one's. It's not a bad album. It's just.
It's like a 3 out of
extremely
5.
unforgettable. Yeah, or unmemorable.
Yeah. Okay. Recitation is like okay too.
Recitation is good. Recitation is the post-rock equivalent of Atheist Cornea.
Yeah. To me, it's like mono screamo.
Yes, and I love mono.
I mean, all
I'm,
of
like,
them
cool
is
with that.
mono screamo.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Japanese post-rock screamo, but like that one is like, I don't know. Those two, I didn't have a lot of replay value for me.
Sure.
But Jesus, dude, I don't know if you can top a 2-album combo of Dead Sinking Story and Insomniac Dose.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can top that.
Those
1-2
two
punch.
albums are incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah, the only like 2 release punch I can. Well, it's not even LPs though. But the only 2 release thing I can think of that compares for me personally is Air EP and then Riala.
Yeah.
For me.
I would. Dead
But-
Sinking Story is like beyond comparison for me. I mean, that is a
Yeah.
near perfect album, if not
Yeah,
perfect.
Dead Sinking Story is the triple S tier album of this list.
Yeah, and Insomniac Doze, I would say the same too, because Insomniac Doze was like totally unexpected for me on the back of Dead Sinking Story.
Yeah, Insomniac Dose has like the prettier. It's still like sad and desperate, but it has a completely different vibe.
It's a
than
very
Dead Sinking
warm
Story.
album.
Yeah, Dead Sinking Story has the sound of a civilization collapsing or something. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Yes.
Almost the same feeling as like F sharp, A sharp, but just in a different way. That like it just sounds like everything is over.
Yeah, Dead Sinking Story is a very cathartic sounding record.
Yeah,
And
like Color of
Insomniac
Fetters,
Doze is
dude.
very enveloping.
Insomniac Dose is like funeral music. That's like how I
Yeah.
feel if a loved one dies.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Sinking Story is how I'd feel if like the world was ending.
Yeah,
That's kind of like the 2 feelings for me.
I agree with that. I would
There's a much broader feeling I get from Dead Sinking Story. There's a much more like personal, inward kind of feeling I get when I listen to Insomniac Dose. And honestly, their last album that came out last year, The Falling Crimson, is my 3rd favorite from theirs because it just sounds like Insomniac Dose meets Dead Sinking Story. But yeah, remarkably consistent band. Even their early stuff is good, like hardcore, screamo hardcore kind of hybrid stuff.
Yeah, they were definitely they're a band that's definitely kind of improved on their own terms.
Speaking of bands with like big discographies,
Yes,
to them it's a credit.
absolutely. And you can see the flavors of their entire discography through their entire discography. Yeah, I would be inclined to say that they're
at least an A tier band. If you put them in A with these bands, I think you got to bump one of Portraits of Past I would say you'd have to keep Page 99 at least A tier.
I'm both comfortable and confident to put Envy in S tier.
Yeah, I think I'm
I
on
think
the same
that's
page.
the call here.
For me personally, Envy is an S tier band. in
Envy
this
is an
genre.
S tier band.
They perfected the post rock screamo sound. Like other bands have done it since then and taken it in different directions, but like Insomniac Doze pretty much perfected, like the song Scene specifically perfected.
Truly.
What's up, Rudy?
What is up, Rudy? How's it hanging? Also,
do you like Envy?
Yeah, do you like Envy? Putting you on the spot. Just straight out the gate.
I'm listening to Envy right now, and it's like, it still blows my mind the 100th time I've listened to this song.
I envy you. Idiot who edits. Don't worry. Don't worry. She still could be.
Who is? I'm like 20 seconds behind the chat, so I have to wait.
Idiot who edits says, the girl that they have been talking to just told me that she likes Pierce the Veil.
That's okay.
It could be okay.
That's fine.
It could be okay.
Look, here's the thing you need to know right now. You said you were 19, I think, last. The girls that you like don't have to be into the same things as you.
Trust me.
That's the number one rule you need to know.
Yes.
You'll save yourself a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Absolutely. I constantly am told by my significant other that the things I like suck shit. And we've been together for 12 years.
She likes Jogger. So
she
it's
does.
like,
yeah, it's true.
And I had fun watching it, but that sucks shit.
Jogger is Pogger.
My little jog champ.
My little jog champ.
Hey, Poggers is hate speech, I think. Didn't Twitch ban Pogger? No. What happened?
I don't know
They banned
what
Simp?
happened. They
I
banned
don't know.
something. Something's banned, so don't say it.
Yeah. This is a Christian.
This is our Christian
stream.
Minecraft server. All right. Now that Retro Rudy,
Dude, when Envy gets to the singing parts, it's all over.
oh man. The vibe of those singing parts, the earnest vibe.
It's still the 3-syllable thing, but it's just singing instead of screaming.
Hey, idiot who edits, to the same token, we've all definitely cut ties with people for their music and tastes. So this is not
there
a
are
shaming
certain
moment
lines
either.
you can draw.
I've definitely done it. I'm just very old now.
Yeah, we're married to each other.
Fist bumps through the pandemic fist bumps. Yeah, no, okay, Rudy. Sorry to put you on the spot, but that's fine. If we're being totally honest with you, this was a thing that we both had to do a hardcore memory refresh on before we started this.
Yeah. So our mallcore list we did last week, we just, that was all off the top of the head. This list, we really had to think about it, and we literally hung out in Discord for about 5 hours today, playing each other's songs from all these albums to kind of like remember exactly how we feel about them, or kind of be like, oh, this is actually way better than I remember.
Exactly. Those were some of the fun moments because I'm like, oh shit, like I like this more than I ever remembered liking this. That's what's especially
Portraits of Past
fun.
was one of
Portraits
those.
of Past was one of the big ones where I was like, I
City
knew
of Caterpillar. I will get to them, but
City of Caterpillar.
That was another one that's better than I remember. Even though I knew they were supposed to be some, we'll get to them, but there were bands like that where we were like, wow, this is actually like really, really good.
Yes.
When we just used to think it sounded the same as everything else.
Yeah, we've lucked out in having a very diverse list off the top here. And I don't think we've gotten into hot take territory yet, really.
Saddest Landscape and D, I think would be a hot take in the general community.
Yeah, somebody
if you
might
put
get
that on
mad about that.
SputnikMusic.com, people would be like,
I think we might officially be the only stream on the internet that consistently references SputnikMusic.com.
Hey, shout out to SputnikMusic.com, my man Jom.
Shout out to Sputnik
I think that's the name of the dude who runs it. I should have posted that we're streaming on my old account.
The comrades at SputnikMusic.com.
think some of my old boys would join in.
The
Taxidermist?
boys in the chat. Taxidermist. I love that.
That was my boy on SputnikMusic.com.
Yeah, with the shout outs to Sputnik Music. Shout out round 2 to Sophie's Floorboard. We shouted them out last time, shouting them out again here on the Screamo chat.
Shout out Mediafire.
Shout out Mediafire, RIP. Googling your favorite band plus Mediafire in quotation marks to download the album.
If you weren't downloading zips in 2008 of like a Sweela Loon album, then I don't want to talk to you.
Shout out LimeWire. Shout out Soulseek.
Kazaa.
Shout out IRC chat rooms.
Damn. Shout out Last FM.
Shout out Last FM.
All right.
I
think the reason people keep leaving is because we're shouting out.
Because we're shouting out everybody. It's shout out o'clock. All right. Said non satiata, if that's the correct way to pronounce that.
Speaking of bands we revisited and thought really highly of, at least for me.
Mamma mia.
Very good.
God damn. Okay. I said that they, this is like a really vague statement that I don't know if anyone will know what I mean when I say it, but I feel they sound to me like the Death Spell Omega of screamo. They're like weird and kind of jangly and disjointed, like kind of they're melodic but they're dissonant. There's like all kinds of stuff going on, but it's still like direct, like the songs go somewhere and they have like a movement to them. They are like we've got other like quote unquote Euro scrams bands in the list, but they are in my opinion on a very different level. They're
really, really good.
They're like the thinking persons.
I like that they have a lot of mid-tempo stuff.
Yes.
I know that became popular later, but like as far as like the 2000s scene,
they're not very aggressive.
Yeah, they're very like subdued as far as the genre goes. I mean, it's a hard on the sleeve genre, but they're very subdued and restrained for a screamo band.
Yeah.
In a way that really puts them in a good light, I would say.
And I, again, kind of going in line with a lot of what we've said so far, I can't immediately compare them to another band that we've talked about or another band off the top of my head in general. I feel like people by default start kind of grouping the Euro scram bands together, but I would say that every one that we've put on this list sounds different from the other ones.
I mean, yeah, like, and we haven't even gotten to like Rain or Sweela Loon.
Yeah,
and those bands don't sound like any of the bands.
No, at all.
They don't sound anything like Said Non Satiata. They don't sound like anything that we've covered so far. I think Euro scrams is. Or what? That's a corny phrase, but that's like the best grouping of bands, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like those bands, like, you don't get a lot of octave chords like spam in those bands. There's so much more. I don't know. When you get into the bands that are not American, I feel like the vibe changes in a very distinct way. And
that's true.
I think there would be a lot to say.
Fault of like American hardcore, like, I don't know, it's like a through line I feel like I could draw.
Well, I
don't like hardcore, but like,
if you think about it,
maybe being separate from that like encourages other influences to kind of seep in more often.
Yes, I was about to say, I think that's possibly the problem, is if you have a distinct connection to this scene growing out of American hardcore, then it only makes sense that you're going to see a more distinct kind of line from that to those bands. When I feel like I'm not well versed in European hardcore at all, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'd say that these bands happen to be playing a little bit more by their own quote unquote rules. That's a good way to put it.
To me, like, Rain is like European hardcore. And it just happens to sound like screamo. I don't know. Like, that's kind of my like interpretation of, like, they sound like a punk band to me that's just playing sad music.
Yeah, it's very upbeat. I mean, they got a lot more like kind of avant-garde, I feel like, with their later stuff, but they're like, really noteworthy albums. The albums and songs that people think of with Rain are like really upbeat, very
They're very driving.
very
They're not-
driving.
They're chaotic, but they're chaotic in a way that still like pushes the songs forward and doesn't feel like it's just a mess.
Exactly.
But
So
we'll get to them.
yeah, absolutely.
Sundown Satiata is an easy A
Easy A
for me. And I think that's a good. I think that's where they end up.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Do they bump a band down?
do they bump anyone up or do they bump anyone down? Is the question here.
God,
Um,
I'm on the fence about.
I'm on the fence about Page 99 going up.
That's how I am too. It might take one more band
Yeah.
for me to really like have a solid say that they go up.
I think
I mean,
so
I know
too.
they're like pretty much the highest regarded screamo band, but
Yeah.
this is our list.
Yeah, this is our list.
They are one of my favorite bands from this genre, though, so we'll see. I'm sure they'll end up higher.
I have a
guess.
feeling that as well. So
I feel like we're about to get into a run of bands that are just gonna.
yeah, it's gonna be
Really
hot,
change the
hot,
ratings.
hot. Yeah. City of Caterpillar is a good one, especially if we're talking about Page 99, because a lot of shared members there. But a totally different vibe. I feel like City of Caterpillar, in my mind, is kind of the band that maybe not originated, but definitely popularized the idea of post-rock sections in screamo songs.
And if I'm thinking from a personal perspective of what my favorite sounds are in the genre, I think I have to put them in S tier, honestly.
Okay.
For me, like, and especially revisiting them today and like really realizing like how much they are the Godspeed of screamo.
Yeah, I will say that is why I like them, and that's why I'm glad that I revisited them, because I liked them, and then I kind of didn't listen to them for a while, and then I got to see them play live, which was fucking awesome, and it totally like reinvigorated my interest in them.
I would love to see them live.
They were absolutely killer.
I can see putting them in A tier and bumping down another band.
I think that might be the call, but at the same time, I also have a very distinct difficulty in bumping anyone down here. I would be more inclined to maybe put them in A and pull Page 99 up.
Ooh. They're on the same tier for me. I couldn't.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think. I don't know if Said Non Sadiata has the breadth for me to pull them up to S, but I can't in any good conscience pull them down to B. Portraits of Past stays in A for me for kind of impact alone.
Yeah.
Majority Rule.
And that's why City of Caterpillar is almost S tier for me. If you think of Portraits of Past as having impact, think of how big post-rock screamo got.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And that's my
kind of
favorite
became like the thing
incarnation
for a
of the genre.
while. Yeah, I think I would be comfortable putting them in S, which is kind of developing a pattern.
I think
here.
influence gives them a very yeah. I mean, you're gonna see what our preferences are, and that's fine. I think.
Yeah,
we're pretty boys, we love reverb.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about the music we've played, it's like, of course, these guys love Envy and City of Caterpillar.
Yeah, this is very true.
So it makes sense. I think this is representative of what we like.
I think so as well. Something about it. I mean, I get kind of burnt out on the post rock screamo thing, but at the same time, they are
100%. The bands that do it well, though.
The bands that do it well, they know why they're doing it. Is a good way to put it. Like, it doesn't feel.
Basically, in my mind, there's 3 bands in that spirit that are S tier, and City of Caterpillar.
Silly old Caterpillar.
Silly old Caterpillar is the first. Envy's second, and there's a third wave band, I think, that takes the mantle from them and carries that kind of legacy forward.
Yeah.
And we'll get to them.
We'll get to them. Yeah, so Welcome to Plague Year is next. And I'm going to say, starting off, I don't think that I would consider them. Yeah. See, Page 99 is going to end up in S. I'm just putting it
I
out
think
there
so.
now.
It's who's
I
gonna
don't.
bump them up. Really.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I'm like. I don't know why we're putzing around about it. They're gonna end up in S. That is a good way to put it. They are the screamo band, and yet we should have added. That's the thing. An S plus tier or an F tier were things that we discussed, and I think we kind of pulled back from it. Even if solely for the sake of generating more discussion and kind of making the decision a little bit harder.
We have to have some hot takes, you know?
Yeah. We either have to make each other mad or somebody else mad.
That's basically the only reason I live. Is to piss someone off. And hey, that's screamo, baby.
That's screamo, baby.
Real hip hop.
On that screamo, baby, I'm gonna go pee. So, yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I'll try and carry the conversation.
Yeah, do a dance or something.
No.
Do TikTok dances.
How many of you guys are wearing cargo pants right now? I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think. Like, when it comes personally, page 99 sits on the top as far as like hours listened to of all these bands. I they'll end up in S tier. I think it's just a matter of like what bands kind of came first here and like what we both personally like listened to the most. I honestly might be okay with moving switching City of Caterpillar and page 99 around for now. They're both teetering on the border of SNA for me. But we'll see. I think things are yet to move to their final positions. As far as the legacy bands go, like the truly impactful ones, I think page 99 and COC are probably my two favorites of the ones we've listed so far. We'll get to some that I really like too, I think. So what are we listening to tonight? I've basically been listening to all the bands on this list today. Right now I'm listening to Welcome the Plague Year, who I hadn't listened to until today. But he was like, I'm putting them on the list, and I was like, I need to have some sort of a thought on them. And so I've listened to about half of their 2004 album. Eponymously titled Welcome the Plague Year. It looks like everybody's peeing, so I think most of this will get cut for the VOD. Eight 485. Is this some Zoomer TikTok music? What do we got here? What song do I listen to? It sounds like emo rap with like 90s house synth. What is this? Is this like PC pop, PC music?
What are we talking about?
I don't know. He said he's listening to 8485, which I'm listening to now. Okay, I like this song. Tracing Paths Circles. Chick Dark. All the songs are so dark.
I would play it on stream, but I'm afraid of getting DMCA'd again.
Oh, I think this is a different band, maybe.
Ruthless.
It's kind of like emo rap.
Interesting.
If you guys didn't know, we're emo rappers too.
Yeah, that's my passion in life.
We basically wanted to do it all, and we did.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about a pandemic, is just throwing all caution to the wind and doing
We've
nothing
done
but
stupid
bullshit for a
covers.
year.
We've made emo rap. We've made a melodic hardcore song that sounds like Counterparts. That has not been released yet.
Yeah, we've just done it all. I'm just really bored. Sometimes that's just what you gotta do. All right, so
Okay, so welcome to Plague Year.
Yeah, welcome to Plague Year. My take on Welcome to Plague Year is that I personally like them a lot, but with that in mind, my opinion on them is probably extremely subjective. So I can't say that they're like, top tier or anything. Like they're, in my opinion, a very good example of like the screamo, sound. Like they do the dark octave chordy kind of, heavy thing really well. And I think that is one of the reasons that I actually like them quite a bit, is I feel like they're actually heavy and actually dark.
I think they do the template justice. They don't really break from it.
That's a good way to put it. They follow the template, but they do it.
It's kind of like they do what the Saddest Landscape doesn't do for me.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
It's like pretty. It's screamo. That's about the only thing you could really call it. When's the MCR emo violence video coming out?
Oh man. We've been MCR is such a special and specific band that we have been tossing around every. I feel like we can't settle on an MCR idea because we just keep throwing new MCR ideas at each other.
I think the most recent video was originally
there was a moment
as an MCR idea and then just turned into something else.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, Welcome to Plague Year for me. For me, they're higher, but from a objective standpoint, I would probably put them in B.
Yeah, I think I'd put them in B because they do the generic. I mean, I hate to say that, but they do the generic screamo thing.
Yeah,
really,
generic's not always bad. I mean, there's a reason genre qualifiers exist,
When I hate myself is in B, like it's not a bad tier,
right. Oh man,
what was our MCR idea we were kicking around?
I said we would do Phoebe Bridgers as MCR.
Oh, that was the one, yeah.
But I like the idea of doing MCR as something else as well.
Yeah, we've also been trying to figure out, is it better for us to take mall core era stuff and throw it backwards? Is it better to take old stuff and throw it forwards? And so we've tried to do. We started a lot with like doing. I guess we've done a little bit of both, really.
The fucked up thing about
we've taken stuff and thrown it backwards.
Yeah.
So we're trying to throw some older '90s stuff forwards.
Yeah.
Like a different era.
I feel like the majority of our process is we'll throw an idea back and forth for months, and then we'll just be sitting talking about something stupid, and then be like, "What about this?" And then we just do that.
Yeah. I think we do have to do both, and I think we're gonna branch. The thing with like doing something that's like screamo or power violence is like it's obviously not going to have the reach that something else does, which doesn't really matter. But also like we want people to like it and watch it. So
yeah,
things like what if Fall Out Boy was American football? Like obviously we're gonna hop on that because that's like who doesn't like those two things,
Yeah, like that's kind of hitting the nail on the head for both algorithms.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it does sound lame, but being like a smaller channel, where we've objectively probably put more time and energy into this. Adam specifically, I give him, I bow before the throne of Adam. The time and energy put into putting these things out is very, it's been a thing for sure.
Yeah, and I think going forward we'll be a bit more regular. I know last year we put out 3 songs, I think.
But then, depression.
Yeah, and holidays and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I wouldn't be surprised for us to put 10 to 15 videos out this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Along with like we're gonna do a lot more of this, schedule permitting. I mean,
Mhm.
I'd like to do every Friday night, but kind of however it works out, we're gonna try and like come up with a semi-regular streaming schedule to do stuff like this, or just like, to what extent we can maybe listen to people's bands or
Yeah, I like that factor of the process. I mean, I have a really weird schedule on a personal level for personal reasons, and it's like,
he's a pro wrestler.
Yeah, I'm a pro wrestler. I'm in the noodle weight class.
Spaghetti Man. That's
No.
your wrestling.
Sen Bob's is still a crossover. It is a crossover. It's just apparently a very niche crossover.
Sorry, that wasn't a laugh. That was me choking on beer. My bad.
Bro, I can't CPR you through the phone.
I think you're right, though. I would like to make, and we've talked about this a lot, is making more meme videos in the style of like something easy, like Census Fail or Silverstein or some pop punk band.
We can't say in depth, but we are cooking something in that vein.
Oh man, yeah, we got one. I feel like the idea is way grander than the payoff is going to be.
But that's the entirety of our existence. That's pretty much
we're
my
definitely
life.
not in this for the money, or we'd be doing something different.
Yeah.
But hey, once we're monetized in a year, if you guys want to super chat us,
we're coming for you, Paul Brothers.
Yeah, we're going to be the next Paul Brothers. Filming someone in a suicide forest is kind of screamo.
I can't even comment on what you just said, idiot who edits, because you just took the hammer and you like hit the side of the nail, and that's as much as I can say.
Yeah, you're pretty close with what our idea is.
Dangerously close.
Is a bit more ambitious than what you're saying. I will say that.
Yeah,
I think our idea warrants a full actual video. I know we've kind of just done the like still image song. I'm drinking a local brewery. It's called Burial.
Yeah, I am also
Surf Wax IPA is what the beer is. What was the worst thing I've ever said?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't remember.
I'm going to be honest. That's
I called
saying
you
a lot.
Greasy incel last stream. So like, what?
Adam has said a lot worse things, so I'm really curious.
This Welcome to Plague Year album is just really well done. I'm listening to it right now.
Yeah, it's heavy, it's dense, and I ordered it off eBay like 12 years ago, and it never showed up at my house, and I still resent that.
That's real screamo.
That was truly one of the most screamo moments that I've dealt with.
Did you post about it on Zanga?
I would be hard pressed.
Wait,
to
12
say that
years ago was 2009.
Maybe it was a little further back than that.
Facebook was out then. Yikes.
Man, yeah, yikes. Yeah, I am personally drinking a Highland Brewing Gaelic Ale.
That's a good one.
Yeah, relatively local, like 5 hours away local, and
it's like an old standby kind of beer.
It was on. Major F's in the chat. One time, I traded a Yu-Gi-Oh card for a copy of Zelda Wind Waker on the Nintendo GameCube when I was like 12 years old, and I got totally ripped off. And looking back, I'm like, I want to slap my little self in the face for thinking that was a good idea. But you win some, you lose some.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
All right, circle takes the square.
Circle takes the square. Yes. They are, I'm just saying it outright, they're S tier for me.
They're easily S tier for me too.
Outside of Screamo.
They were pretty much one of my intros into the genre. I had a few at the same time.
Yeah, they really made it for me in a major way. Again, if we want to talk about bands that don't sound at all like other bands, Circle Takes the Square is kind of that band for me.
Yeah, and they're definitely more on the metallic side too, which is cool.
I truly, truly love them. They are probably in my top 10 bands of all time.
I'd say they're probably in my top 20, but yeah, they're up there.
Their one of their first comeback shows was my first and only crowd surfing experience, so I look back fondly on that. Also, it was lit as fuck. It was it packed out a coffee shop. There were like 300 people in a coffee shop, losing their mind for Circle Takes the Square.
Yeah, that's a good point. They kind of like took the template of the genre, and it's all there, but they blew it all up into pieces too.
It's like they deconstructed and reconstructed it in a very big way. Like they're like technical in a way and mathy in a way.
The kind of metalcore in a way.
Kind of metalcore in a way. They go all over the place. They have little electronic segments, like that weird like hip hop segment in Same Shade as Concrete. Yeah, dude, I remember hearing that for the first time
I heard that,
losing my shit.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
They're really unique vocally too. Like Drew's voice is so disgusting sounding. Like it's not like there's no like attempt to make it sound appealing. It just sounds fucking gross, and I love that.
They're like the Taking Back Sunday of disgusting screaming.
Yeah.
Because their voices are so distinct. Like Kathy has like just a yell.
Yeah.
And then Drew has like the like weird false chord kind of low effort scream.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just that yeah, like the very raspy,
like
almost black metal sort of scream sound. Yeah, I fucking love Circle Takes the Square. And I know there was a weird period in screamo history where for some reason popular opinion on Circle Takes the Square was that they are not screamo or that they're bad screamo, and I deeply, deeply resent that idea. I think they're a damn near perfect band. And I really like their follow-up album, too, that took like 10 years to come into existence.
Decompositions?
Yes.
I was very pleasantly surprised by
I
that.
love it. It's heavy. It's weird.
It's
it
heavy.
Still sounds like them, but it sounds distinctly different.
Yeah, I remember it being kind of like, it was unexpectedly heavy is what my first like, impression was.
It's dark as fuck. Yeah. Decompositions is great. As the Roots Undo is an all-timer. Again,
As the Roots Undo is speaking of like as far as things we've covered so far, triple S tier.
Yeah. Oh God.
Triple S tier albums: As the Roots Undo and Dead Sinking Story, and maybe Document
8. I don't know. I have trouble putting a lot of things on the same tier as the Roots Undo. Because that is not just a good screamo album to me. That's like one of the best records of all time.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
I remember reading
so many places.
I remember reading a review on Sputnik Music along with listening to the album, and that experience of reading the review and like what that guy thought of it, and how that shaped how like I kind of perceive the album, as like this journey of like you start with all these questions and then you end up coming back around with all the same questions, but like somehow better for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a really good summary of how that album and that's the way the music sounds and how it makes me feel.
Yeah, their influence for me came around at such an interesting point in my life too, when I was still just, a hair swooped scene kid with a white belt. When I was listening to metalcore and Panic Chord, Mall Screamo and
Yeah.
all those bands, and then this
They were
showed
way
up,
later for me.
and
I think I
was
heard them
like,
2008 maybe for the first time.
oh damn.
A couple years after the album came out.
Yeah, I found them on Pure Volume, I think. I bought their album at Ed McKay's, and then
Were they the most abrasive thing you would listen to at the time that you heard it?
I don't know if they were the most abrasive, but they were probably one of the bands
The
that
least
stood
digestible.
out to me. Yeah, very indigestible at that point, and I was like so completely like mesmerized by it.
Yeah, I feel
in
the
a
same
way
way.
that very few bands can comprehend. Like literally, whenever
I remember saying they were like musical fiber or something to me.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
all this super sweets, mallcore and other stuff I was really into. And I was branching out into other stuff at that time too, but like they were like dirty and in your face, but like still very emotive.
Yeah, they're like
evocative and thought provoking.
They're like I mean they have a song called the, Way of Ever Branching Paths, but they're like very prosaic music. It's incredibly. They're like the definition of like a song being wordy, not just
they're
in
like
a lyrical sense, but
in of screamo.
Yeah, I mean they have extremely poetic lyrics. They have. I mean they're just deep as fuck, and I mean that totally unironically.
The
Circle
first
Takes
real
the Square is
screamo
deep
band?
as fuck. Oh yeah, that's a great question. What is the first
honestly,
real screamo band?
If we're talking about scrams or real screamo, I think the first screamo band I heard was Sweet La Lune in 2007, a year after Quiet Pull the Strings came out. And we'll get into that band, but very, very special place in my heart for that music, and what they opened up for me musically. Because I was very much a mallcore emo scene kid of the 2000s. I graduated high school in like 2008, so like that was my era. It was like Hawthorne Heights and Bayside and From First to Last. And Sweet La Lune was kind of the bridge to a lot of other music.
Yeah,
but that was the first thing I heard, I think.
I'm one of those people where, and I was especially like this when I was a teenager, but I was like very deeply invested in researching things like hardcore. Like if I felt like I didn't know enough about something, or I didn't have like the full picture of something, I would go and
just put Circle Takes the Square in S.
Absolutely.
He's right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab another drink.
Please.
While you wax poetic about being a screamo blogger or something.
Yeah. Also, Idiot Who Edits, we've spoken a decent amount of times through chat right now, and since we are continuously referring mostly to you in the context of chat, can you drop pronouns in the chat? Yeah, I could talk about Circle Takes the Square for ages. I don't know if Circle Takes the Square is my first screamo band, so to speak. I think I probably went on some weird little personal teenage journey trying to listen to every conceivable screamo band ever. I remember downloading like Klickitat Ikatawi off of like probably a Kazaa or Mediafire or something. Okay, cool. She heard. Thank you. And I'm just, if I were being honest, I think the first band that stands out to me as like a screamo band that I listened to very consistently was probably Funeral Diner, who I also feel very strongly about. I remember, like, I think Syncope, listening to that and being like, oh, this is like real shit. This is like what I've been looking for. And again, I was like all in on that shit from like day one. So I don't know factually if that's like the first band in the genre that I actually heard, but that's probably the first one that made a substantive impact on me. Yeah. But Circle Takes the Square probably is one of the first bands that was like, oh, you're like dramatically escalated into like a, mainstay point in my life. And it was really gratifying. Like, yeah, I agree. I think the S tier here is kind of put a good standard in place for what S should look like. I still feel confident that Page 99 is going to jump up there at some point through the night. And I think at the point we're at in the list now, and again, I could be speaking too soon, but I think we're probably ripe for some hot takes to come up and maybe, I don't know, upset things a little bit. But
yeah,
because I think we've kind of moved past a lot of our, like, oh my God, favorites now. Yeah. So Circle Takes the Squares, S tier for sure, and I agree with that in the standpoint that I would definitely put them in a mental level in the same place here.
I will say this is pretty much lining up with my time listen total, probably, of all these bands.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Outside of a lot of Dispute, but because of the
I was going to say
way they fit into the genre.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe outside of I Would Set Myself on Fire for You. Actually, I Would Set Myself on Fire for You if we want to talk about Circle Takes the Square. Circle Takes the Square was on tour with I Would Set Myself on Fire.
Both Southern screamo bands, right?
Yes. Circle Takes the Square is from Savannah, I think.
Yeah, and I think they're from Athens or Atlanta.
Yeah.
I Would Set Myself on Fire for You.
I was going
Actually, surprising amount of screamo scene in the South. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and both of those are very distinct bands too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Circle Takes the Square dropped the show the day of because their van broke down, and I was absolutely devastated. But I still went, and it was still a really good show. It was I Would Set Myself on Fire if you ended up headlining, essentially, I think. And then, I don't know if you ever listened to Chet Stedman. They were kind of like a mathy, like, post-hardcore band. And then this, I think Wolverines played as well, which was like a cool, like, two-piece screamo band that used to be around North Carolina. And Giant played. So that was actually a pretty sick show, even though Circle Takes the Square was not there. Little did I know that they would then disappear for many, many years, and I wouldn't see them until like 2012. But yeah, that's just a personal anecdote. Jerome's Dream. Idiot Who Edits is stating Jerome's Dream in S, and I feel like I am not. Jerome's Dream is not S for me, and I can, in some capacity, explain why.
For me, I just didn't listen to him that much. That's all it comes down to for me.
And I hate myself for the first screamo
influential,
bands I heard,
but didn't really do much for me personally.
I think I respect Jerome's Dream for their standpoint, like, and in like cementing the genre as like what it is. I think they're a very good band. I have trouble putting them on the same level as any of these bands. And I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I also have the same trouble putting them on the same level as these bands. And maybe this is just like a proximity taste issue where I'm just not a fan of what they've put out since they came back. But I agree, actually. Jerome's Dream is incredibly abrasive, incredibly dirty. The whole, like, no mic scream thing being, like, the standard is just much respect there. I would say Impact, they're definitely up here. But outside of Impact is where I start falling off with them. Again, but to the same token, I think they're more impactful than any of these bands. So, and I will kind of.
They're not on the same tier as Orchid or Page 99.
I agree with that. So I think what I would probably be inclined to do here is finally put them in A, because they do have a very heavy impact on the genre, and I do objectively like them. And move Page 99 to S.
I think that's fair.
I think that's the call to make.
Yeah, and I think our lists are always going to skew more towards stuff we like, just because we don't want to talk about a bunch of screamo bands that we don't care about, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's probably why this list is the size that it is too. Is there are plenty of bands that we could include here, but I just kind of roll with stuff that I've put a lot of like hours into listening to, instead of trying to really think hard and be like, I want to cover every conceivable band.
Yeah, I want to put a bunch of bands in C just because we haven't listened to them.
Right.
More than one time
I don't want to do anyone a disservice. So I would say, yeah, I think that's probably the best move there.
I think that's fair, especially when you consider impact and time period. And even if I don't personally like them over some bands, I still like them. And if you consider their impact, it's like,
yeah,
you got to keep them up higher.
I agree. Now the difficulty here, contrasting against Jerome's Dream,
I would put Antioch Arrow in A and bump Jerome's Dream to B. That's how I would approach this.
About to say, I'm almost tempted to put Antioch Arrow in C.
I like Antioch Arrow. I think they're more creative than Jerome's Dream. I think they're more musical and more interesting to me.
See, I can agree with that. The difficulty I have with Antioch Arrow is that if I think about them in the same terms that I think about Kid Crash, they also kind of moved into a weird like math rock, indie rock direction. Where I'm kind of like, it's different for them, of course, because they are one of like the bands that like did the thing, you know? Like they were one of the innovators. It's presentation mode. Oh shit. Cool. This is good. This is difficult now. I can't move. I don't think I can in good conscience move any of these bands down to B. I wouldn't consider Antioch Arrow an A. Only based on the whole like moving out of the genre discussion. I would say okay.
They're no lower than B based on impact alone.
Can we roll with B? Can we roll with B and then see where we land?
I will say about Antioch Arrow, thinking about it objectively, probably B. As far as what my expectations were, and re-listening to a lot of this stuff today, Antioch Arrow surprised me as being better than I remembered when I listened to them 10, 12 years ago for the first time.
That's how I feel, but the same way in like Portraits of Past. And I'm like, Portraits of Past to me is a band that I would be much more inclined to.
Better, yeah. I would say. I think that's fair. That's a good way to put it. I think
if we want to consider era and them being like relatively close in time period, I think Portraits of Past is a notably better band.
Mm-hmm. And more along the lines of what I like in the genre.
Same.
In general.
Yeah, Portraits of Past more closely embodies what I listen to this kind of music for. Also, Idiot Who Edit says, A bit of a hot take. I think Jerome's Dream is better than Orchid, to me.
I guess we'll get to that.
Me. Yeah, that's. I have my mind has developed in a certain way about the abrasive screamo bands, in that I appreciate and respect them, but their brand of abrasiveness in a lot of ways is maybe not. It's not exactly abrasive in the way that I want it to be anymore. Actually, I'm a much bigger fan of some of the newer abrasive bands than I am some of the older ones now. Like, I really like Portrayal of Guilt, and some of the bands that kind of do the like warbly, like shrieky chord screamo, like Lord Snow and like Bo Navere and like that sort of thing.
Oh, Bon Iver, yeah, the Bonnie the Bear.
Yeah, the Bonnie the Bear. Yeah, bands like that kind of have those like high pitched, like squelchy sort of chords and are still really abrasive and like aggressive, but still have sort of like a, I don't know, not even like a mathy sort of backbone to them, but there's something about it that's different to me that more appeals to the kind of music that I tend to listen to now.
The skronk.
Yeah, they got a little of the skronk.
That drop dead gorgeous skronk.
Give me that skronk. Fistful of skronk.
Yeah.
So the next one, Seisha. Okay.
This is going to be an interesting one.
I think so too. I don't know where you would land on this in terms of, yeah, I agree with that as an easy A. Again, if we give Jerome's Dream the impact A, then you can't give Seisha anything less.
I was going to say, yeah, I could see them landing anywhere from A to C because Seisha epitomizes the word, not screamo, but the word scrams to me.
Yeah, Seisha is like melodrama.
They're the band you get recommended when you're like, what is screamo? To me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're the easy pull for the entire genre.
I mean, if we're talking triple S songs, Venus and Bacchus.
Yeah. Actually, if we want to go back to that question of the first screamo band, I could probably say at least within the first 3 songs in the genre I ever heard, Venus and Bacchus was probably one of them.
Oh, actually, you know what it was for me? I take it back. Before I heard Suila Loon, I heard Tiger Suit by Rain.
Oh, hell
First screamo song
yeah.
I ever heard. Changed my life.
Oh, well, yeah. That Tiger Suit is like an unnaturally good, like, bop of a song.
Quadruple S song.
Truly. I think Rain gets votes on Tiger Suit alone. Objectively good band, but that song, oh god, fuck.
I will say Seisha has a lot of forgettable songs.
They do. And I think that's the problem, is a lot of it kind of, there are songs like, there are their songs that everyone thinks of, like, again, Venus and Bacchus and, like, Burden of Reflecting and stuff like that. But when you think about them from terms of impact, sure, A is a fair place. They would be an S in impact. But in actual musicality, it's hard to,
I think they're probably the corniest screamo band.
Yeah, they're super melodramatic, which I like.
But it works.
It does work. Yeah, I mean, we also have La Dispute on the list. La Dispute is like,
yeah.
If this were the really melodrama tier list,
for me.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy Warner's Scream is
super unique.
Triple S tier to me. It's so good.
It's like whistle pitch.
But just some of their songwriting, I don't know. I feel like A is a decent spot for them. I could see B.
I can't. I don't think. I don't think I could be comfortable putting them in B. I think
That's
objectively speaking, if Jerome's Dream is an A, then I think Seisha has to be an A as well.
And everybody knows Seisha, it was just Seosin before Seosin existed.
Yeah, it's the same.
That's my hottest take.
They basically have the same font.
The logo, the font. Yeah.
The font's pretty much the same. So they're basically the same band.
Yeah, I'm just writing on Venus and Bacchus alone and Burden of Reflecting.
Yeah,
no lower than A.
they've definitely made their impact. They've definitely been
They
the
have the
gateway
singles.
drug for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like almost a meme band, and like it's like they're a band that's been dead for years and now they have T-shirts again, kind of thing. So I mean, you gotta respect them from that capacity for sure.
They have a cool name.
They do have a cool fucking name. Yeah, we'll say Easy A. I agree.
I can't unlink them from what screamo, that word.
Yeah, they're
the first band I think of every time.
deeply embedded in that specific word.
Okay, now that we talked to you about Seisha,
I can explain.
what is
to you.
Kitten Core?
Yeah, all right, drop it. Kitten Core in the chat. Seisha is Kitten Core. Okay, all right, hit me.
Who else is Kitten Core?
Yeah, now I need. Would that make like a Spirit of Versailles Kitten
Is
Core?
Barrow Kitten Core?
Oh my god. Yeah, hit us with your hottest Kitten Core. I don't feel comfortable saying hit us with your hottest Kitten Core in the chat.
Hit us with your best Kitten Core. No,
that's gonna.
I don't like any of it. There's no way to say it.
Yeah, that's.
Just tell us, what is it?
Explain.
America, explain. Dude, I'm listening to Seisha right now and it kicks ass.
I mean, yeah, objectively, it kicks ass for sure.
Every time we talk about a band, I've been listening to it in the background.
Yeah, your entire mindset would change if the band was playing while we were talking about them.
If we could do that.
I was about to say, if we got DMCA'd by screamo bands, I feel like that would be very disappointing.
Seisha does nail like the dynamics of screamo really well, like the clean parts and the really big parts.
Okay, so screams with very high-pitched, fragile kind of screams, usually from bands formed by guys. So, like, yeah, like Spirit of Versailles, and, like, there's another band that I'm thinking of that's not immediately jumping into my mind. Like, borderline whistle-pitch screech screams. I see that. Okay.
Like Earth Crisis.
Like Earth Crisis, basically.
What if Earth Crisis was 90s scrams? You only got to move the notch like a couple over. Just pitch shift the vocals.
Yeah, I think that's doable, right? All right. So, Touche, another one that's again really added here for more of like a modern impact standpoint.
Yeah. Don't really care about this band. That's kind of my thought. They are okay. Melodic hardcore mixed with post-hardcore, mixed with maybe a little screamo. Gateway band.
Yeah, gateway band is a good way to put it. I agree, B or C. I like Touche. I like Touche's first two albums a lot.
I feel like they try to emotionally impact me, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess if it's anything to say, they came out with a new album, and I didn't feel like an immediate pull to listen to it. I appreciate them, and I respect them, and I think that they're very talented, and I do think that they're an objectively good band, but I think that maybe in the context of this list, they might sit a little bit lower. Yeah, they are the gateway band, I think, because I think they've held their certain brand of, like, sound and, like, jangly aggression longer than both of the other wavy bands on this list, like La Dispute and Pianos. Both of them have, I think, taken a pretty distinct
Touche's definitely had a more narrow range of sounds.
Yeah, I think so too. Which I think is to their benefit as well, because it's kind of kept them ingrained in like the hardcore scene in a way.
It'd be fun to rank all the wave bands.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Actually, that's kind of a fun idea. The a wave/emo revival ranking could be interesting. That's interesting. Touche is very I don't like the term like poppy because I don't think they're poppy. But Touche is very catchy, which I think is maybe what does actually make them a kind of wider appeal band. They have a lot of hooks. They're good songwriters too. I will say that. This is my difficulty here again, where I'm like, I don't feel comfortable moving La Dispute down to D because I don't think they're a D band by any means, and I think on any other list they'd be much higher. But I think in the context of this list, Touche would be higher for me. I don't know.
I say they're a C.
We can leave them in C. We can leave them in C and see where that goes. I think that's a fair call.
Yeah, they're definitely like the mall scrams.
Yeah, I mean they're like a they're like a sad hardcore band almost. Like in their like I don't know, energy, I would say. Yeah, we'll drop Touche and C for now. That's not a dislike thing. That's just a I think in the context of this list, it makes sense. La Quiete.
You're gonna have to take this one away because
I think
you've listened to a lot more than me.
Yeah. Again, I think if I were to, and again, it's difficult for me to not just immediately compare them to the other like quote unquote Euro scram bands, but La Quiete for me is maybe out of like all of those, the one that I'm kind of least taken by. But then again, it's a hard call because I still think they're objectively good, and I would probably personally put them higher than some of these other bands. They're, melodic. I actually kind of see a bunch of like weird sort of through lines with bands like Squeeze the Loon and stuff like that. They're not like immediately similar, but they kind of share some DNA for sure in their kind of slightly noodly, like very melodic sort of screamo vibe. I think I would call them an easy B in the context of where everything is in this
I think
list.
that's fair. I think that's fair for them based on my like limited exposure to them.
Yeah. So I think for the a little tit for tat, so to speak,
Do they move anyone up or down? Is a question.
I don't think so. I think B should probably be the most stacked part of any list.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense based on a bell curve.
Yeah. And we got a decent curve we're running with right now. Though the rest of what we're going with is probably going to fuck that up. So we'll see. You have probably listened to gospel a lot more than I have.
I've listened to this album probably 150 times. A truly unique band in the genre.
Absolutely. They're like
one
proggy.
album and done. I don't even know how many shows they played. They were another southern
really
screamo band.
Where they were from.
I'm pretty sure they're from like. Hold on. Where are they from?
Hell. The most southern place of all.
The moon is a dead world. Well, I don't know where they're from, but this is one of my favorite records in general.
It is an incredible album.
2005. I'm pretty sure this is their only release.
Yeah, I think it is too.
And what a way, What a way to come in and go out.
Yeah, they absolutely and
Um,
undeniably sound unlike any other band
They sound
on this
nothing like any
list.
band on this list, and they still sound definitely
in
in
the
the
genre.
Yeah, I guess you could like maybe say they're more like hardcore, but like they're too chaotic.
I definitely couldn't call them a hardcore band. They're like prog screamo.
Yeah, they have 70s prog influence. They have a kind of like a weird
They're
metalness
kind of
to them, but they
psychedelic in a
don't.
weird way.
They have excellent guitar tone. I think they were a 3-piece, and their drummer is insane. The drummer is insane. If you haven't listened to this band, listen to "The Moon Is a Dead World." It's
Yeah,
one of
it
the
is
best
a really
albums in the
incredible
genre.
album.
For me, they're an S tier band. I could see throwing them an A based on like they're still relatively obscure. Like I feel like the people who know, and everybody rates them highly who's listened to them. But
Yeah,
I don't know how much of an impact they had. They kind of just came and went, and no one has sounded like them since. So could you really say they had an impact
right.
other than just putting out a really really good record?
Yeah, I mean that's the difficulty. There is, you think about it from the standpoint of it being an extremely good and extremely unique album versus, general. I mean, you think about the impact that Circle Takes the Square, Envy, City of Caterpillar, Page 99 have had on the genre as a whole. I don't know exactly how much impact on the genre as a whole has come out of gospel.
I don't think anyone has ripped off gospel.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point, too, for better or for worse.
Kind of hard to. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you really latch onto? Like, they just put out this really good album, and
Yo,
hey, Sean.
Sean, what's up? Thank you. Thank you for joining, and also thank you for the commentary.
Yeah, definitely listen to gospel. They fucking rule.
Yeah, gospel fucking rules.
It's just a weird entry into the catalog, and
They're
just,
very
in,
hard to
out.
place.
Yeah, one of the best like instrumentally like impressive screamo albums. Like most screamo bands, you're like, yeah, they can play guitar, they can play drums, but like there's nothing that stands out. But this band, you can be like, that drummer shreds.
Yeah, they do it all.
But he plays in a service to the song. It's not like unapologetic shredding. It's just fits the music perfect. It's just chaotic, but everything gets held together with like these long interludes, weird like 70s like Boston style like organ riffs. That kind of like add this weird atmosphere to it. It's got a different feeling than the rest of the albums. They don't sound like simps.
They're distinctly unlike any
like
other band.
It's more in the vein of like Refused or something. Yes. I don't know. I get that kind of vibe.
Okay, Sean, you said everything checks out other than I Hate Myself. Do you think I Hate Myself up or down? What is your take there?
Yeah,
because
that's interesting.
I will give some background. I Hate Myself was one of the first 2 bands we put on the list. And when we started the list, we started just putting everything in B and sliding it up or down based on context. Up, okay.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think they're definitely okay.
Oh, is
we're
it
back.
Just me and you?
We're back.
Oh, okay.
Shit. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, OBS just
damn, we had 8 people.
OBS took a dump. Yeah. Oh well. So, yeah, gospel I'm going to say is a solid A.
I think A is where they belong. They had 0 impact other than putting out a really, really fucking good album.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place. No, your band doesn't suck. No bands suck because
what?
You have listen, okay.
Okay, there's one band that sucks.
Who's the one?
Their name is Celia.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. The only band
kidding. Their name is Nova.
Yo, Sicko Mode. Where do we put Sicko Mode on the tier list?
As far as screamo goes,
I'm always screamo mode.
Maybe like B. Like it's the beat switch is cool, but how much impact did they have on the genre?
Yeah, how many on a scale from 1 to sicko mode, where do you put I hate myself?
Wait, who said Nova is S plus tier? Don't even. Did you listen to my shitty band? Please don't.
Wait, I hate myself is in B tier.
Our
It's right
front man
there.
became a rapper.
I hate myself is in B tier. And you
I
weren't
could
here
see,
for the
yeah, Orchid and Page
context.
99 not connecting with you initially. Because they didn't for me. Because I heard Orchid in high school, and I was like, whatever. Because my hardcore friend was like, this band is too like lame for me, but you might like them because you like emo. But I
This
didn't.
band sucks, but you might like it.
Yeah,
Nerd.
basically. But then circling back to Orchid and Page 99, they became some of my favorites. I hate myself. Oh, City of Caterpillar is really fucking good. I hate myself is like it's the genre, and that's my feeling on it.
Yeah.
Kind of just it's screamo. It's good. It's fine.
No, I don't think of I hate myself in that capacity. I think I hate myself sounds distinctly different from a lot of other screamo bands. And again, it's like I said, I think of everyone in the B tier part of the list, they have the most upward mobility. It's just we put them in B tier as a default because we were trying to find context to move them up or down. And that's just where they've stood because nothing here has pushed them up and nothing here has pushed them down.
Yeah. Still subject to change.
Yeah, we had the 5 not 8 discussion before too. This isn't really pulling iconic albums. This is me being lazy as fuck and just typing the name into Google image search and getting
basically
a square
none
image.
of these bands have logos that you can just pull.
Yeah.
So really, we just took the first album.
I was trying to get like band pics, and then I was like, that's just not gonna. It was like, who's this again? Second album in C tier is Wildlife by La Dispute. And again, we're ranking bands mostly, not albums. I'm just using albums for easy square images. But basically, when we discussed La Dispute, we were kind of like, yeah, like I like this band, but I don't think they are higher than this tier in a screamo list. They might be higher in like a post-hardcore list,
because
but
they bridged a lot of people to the genre.
Exactly.
But they weren't necessarily 100% in the genre, so we couldn't rank them too high. Even though I think we personally both have them pretty high in a general sense.
Yeah, like
I
think they're objectively a good band.
A-B band for me.
D is The Saddest Landscape.
Yeah, that was our hottest take, I think.
Yeah, I don't like them at all. Neither of
us vibe with them at all. I mean, I could see them and I hate myself. I know I keep like talking shit about I hate myself, but like to me they are the same, but I hate myself does the template better.
I would say
yeah, exactly. Me Without You did everything La Dispute did. I mean, La Dispute had a distinctively punkier sound, I would say.
Yeah, La Dispute, I keep joking around and saying that La Dispute is Me Without You with Every Time I Die riffs. And then Wildlife, I mean, specifically in my opinion, is the best La Dispute album and also the most screamo La Dispute album. But also I don't think it really pushes it into a higher tier than this from a screamo capacity. Also, I agree. Joshua Fit for Battle is probably the definition of the B screamo band. They are good. If we want to talk about template screamo, they probably hit it pretty hard.
Oh, what did you miss? 2 hours of a stream. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
It's been
here. It is.
You've seen we've had ups, we've had downs, we've had
some hot takes, but I feel like most of this is pretty cold takes.
We've had laughs, we've had cries.
We shitted and farted.
Somebody had a baby in the chat. It was
me.
A lot. Yeah. Work. Well, that's all right.
Shame.
Yeah, that checks out. That's cool. Yeah. There's a lot of ups and downs to the reasoning No, I like Joshua Fit for Battle objectively, but again, that's why we kind of try to do this whole like context based tier list, as in we keep pulling stuff up and pushing stuff down. As I keep saying, as I'm like, do I think Joshua Fit for Battle is better than Gospel? Do I think they're better than Majority Rule? Do I think they're better than Portraits? Do I think they're better than Said Non Sadiata, Jerome's Dream?
I think a lot of
Seisha?
people would say yes. I personally don't have the experience with them to make a call, so it's all on you.
Okay.
And maybe chat.
Sergio just dropped the hottest take in the chat, and I think that is discussion fuel right there, because clearly you're in a particular set of company, because our S tier bands are Envy and City of Caterpillar. Those were the first two that we put into S tier. So
yeah.
But to the same token, we also had the discussion that when it's not done right, it's boring as fuck.
Yeah, basically, I think it's one of the best hybrid genres, and simultaneously was
one of the worst.
So quickly overplayed.
Yes.
There's so many bands that fall into that realm that aren't even worth mentioning. That were local and from a city not too far from us.
There are plenty of bands that pulled those strings very specifically because they're very easy strings to pull.
You either have to do it first or you got to do it right, and if you're not one of those,
then it's not. It just doesn't.
It's not interesting.
Yeah, but that's
if you're just doing what Envy did 15 years ago. Then,
but I guess that's also
cool.
why I have Envy and City of Caterpillar up here. Is because impact, and also they do it so well. They do it in a way that's not just an explosions in the sky riff and some guy like screeching over it. I think it is the most played out version of the genre, and if anything, I'm extremely glad to see that the genre has taken a pretty distinct turn away from that with a lot of the more modern bands. I think a lot of the more modern bands are fuck off. I think a lot of the more modern bands have definitely taken a more abrasive turn. But there was definitely a certain period of time where every screamo band was like delay pedals and reverb. I feel like. The only band like that's not on here because from an impact / like popularity standpoint that I absolutely adore is Suffocate, for fuck's sake.
I remember them. I listened to them a decent amount, but not enough to have an opinion.
They're again one of my favorite bands in that genre.
City of Caterpillar is post. So when we were listening to City of Caterpillar, I can't say that word.
Silly old Caterpillar.
Silly old Caterpillar. We were both listening to them back today just to like do a refresher. And honestly, we were like really impressed with how well they did it so early and how much they have. They're not Godspeed, but they do that Godspeed thing where the level of atmosphere they create is so unsettling.
Yeah. Again, it's not like
it's really impressive.
Yeah, they go to that side of post rock. They go to the kind of
it's spooky.
Yeah,
it's
eerie post rock.
It's eerie.
They build an atmosphere that's very different than the "This Will Destroy You" and "Explosions in the Sky" brand of.
Envy did a very refined version of post rock hardcore. I think that's completely different than what City of Caterpillar did, which is very like raw, almost more along the lines of like what Slint was doing with post rock.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Envy again is much closer to mono.
Unsettling. Yeah.
Which I think mono is like, again, I don't think people talk about mono in a lot of the same conversations that they talk about bands like Explosions and This Will Destroy You. Mono is a very distinct brand, and I'm not saying that Envy is like ripping mono and putting screams over it, but I'm saying that their brand of post rock definitely kind of slants in that direction. Yeah, I think it makes sense
being from the same country, trends.
Yeah, I think they play together a lot too.
Yeah. God, Envy really nails the super sweet, sad.
I adore
Oh,
Envy.
can't stand the vocalist.
Well,
Wow.
So I can understand it because I do think that I'm like, bro, we got to find a new cadence for you to do your vocals.
You don't like
in.
the alternating
Da,
3-syllable,
da,
2-syllable cadence?
da, da, da.
Sarah.
Yeah.
This is not the day. Like every song. You don't
It
like
is
that?
really every song.
I will admit half of why I like them is because of the hat that he wears.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's got a cool like army field hat.
Yeah,
That shit's
I'm
cool.
practically a certified Envy fanboy, so I'm just like all in
I'm
on
an
pretty
Envy
much
fanboy.
everything that they do. But I can understand disliking their vocalist. He has a very gruff kind of scream, and he does kind of repeat literally the same exact pattern and cadence in every single song, which if I wasn't charmed by it, I would hate it. So I understand that. I think we kind of discussed Joshua Fit for Battle in the context. No, I wanted to add Comadre on here, but I didn't know where they would fit from an impact standpoint, and we kind of tried to pare down the list a fair bit, almost to the point where I think I might want to do a second list at some point with bands that are considered in a more modern sense. But Comadre is one of my favorite bands of all time. I love them. I'm just going to drop Joshua Fit for Battle and B because I think chat kind of delivered on that, and I agree entirely with that standpoint. They're a good example of quote-unquote template screamo from back in the day.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
So,
remember when I said we were going to show our asses for the e-girls?
what do you? I can't see what your ass is doing.
I just did it.
Respect.
We talked a lot about Comadre. Did we end up not putting them on here?
Yeah, I didn't.
Did Ampere make it? We talked about a couple of bands that
I put
well,
Ampere on here, but for some
Okay.
reason they're not showing up. Maybe the tier list didn't pull everything. Because
That's
I
fine.
definitely put Ampere
there were
on
a
here
couple
as
of
well.
those bands that were right on the line.
Yeah, so I think maybe some of the things that I tried to add in here did not come through, so I may need to rework that. My bad. So Orchid, yeah, I agree. Orchid A.
Ooh, Orchid A. I think if we're going, the two bands that kind of had a similar sound to me were that I kind of heard first were like Orchid and Page 99. That weren't like the super melodic screamo. I would put Page 99 like a step above. So I think Orchid A is fine, and there's not much more you need to say. I mean, they had killer songs.
Well, and I think that kind of completes the trifecta. If we've got Jerome's Dream A, Seisha A, then you have to put Orchid A. I have trouble saying that one of those bands is better than the other one.
That's fair.
I have heard of This Is How It Ended in Tokyo, but I don't think I've actually heard them. But their name stands out to me. Yeah, that's a very good take, Sergio. I agree with that. Yeah, I do want to do a modern... Okay, so this is my problem, actually. I want to do a modern Screamo band tier list, but I don't want to... I would have trouble putting any of those bands in anything below B.
I don't want to talk about any modern
I don't want to talk
screamo.
about any bands... I don't want to talk down about any bands that are doing their thing, is I guess my issue, too.
Well, what about as tastemakers, which is what we are?
Are we tastemakers now?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but we have 10 viewers in the chat.
Damn. That's with
That's
great
true.
power comes great responsibility.
Orchid's self-titled is kind of meh, and that was actually my introduction to them, and I worked backwards from there. But Dance Tonight, Revolution Tomorrow is so fucking killer.
Yeah.
I
think
they're an A band.
Yeah, I almost put I Wrote Haikus. I actually have a really bad excuse for not putting I Wrote Haikus. It was because I couldn't find a good image quick enough, and we were running out of time. So I'm sorry. We got very caught up with posting the cover on the channel. It got to be about 15 minutes beforehand, and we were like, "Oh wait, don't we have to make the tier list now?" Maybe after.
If you guys haven't listened to it, by the way, I'm gonna post our song in the chat. We just did a if Parking Lot by Mineral was like a drive-through records band, basically. We're pretty proud of it.
Yeah, it's pretty bopping. I actually like Flowers taped pens, so I'm curious about that then. I'm actually thinking after this tier list, I'm curious. I might see if I can find another like screamo tier list on Tier Maker and just see what's on it. Just to do a quick speed run of the tier list based on bands we may have missed. Bless you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. What did you think? Because that's the hardest we've worked on a song so far.
Yeah, we definitely put an uncomfortable amount of time into that.
We really wanted to like polish it and make it sound like very poppy, Euro Trip era MTV pop punk.
Trip.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. I did listen to them again the next day. Your Arms Are My Cocoon. It is not 100% my thing, and I think I will admit this is probably why this is probably a bad take. I am too production dependent in my ear holes, but I do appreciate what they're doing, and I like the concept of it being lo-fi because I do objectively like a bunch of like the lo-fi hip hop stuff. So I think it has potential to grow on me.
Yeah, I liked what we listened to. Like, it's definitely, I can feel the generation gap.
Yeah,
when I listen to it. Which is a weird thing to say, but
we gotta
we're
stop
like
being
old dudes
Where's
who like
the fountain
emo.
of youth?
It's like we're in a weird place.
We fell off of Orchid a bit. Does Orchid need much discussion?
I don't think so.
I don't think they generate a lot of discussion because they're pretty
everybody knows they're good.
Well loved.
I don't know that they're S tier, but
Who's
they're
Jack
very good.
Synth?
I don't know who Jack Synth is. No idea.
This name sounds familiar, but for some reason it's not clicking with me, and I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm putting Orchid in A. I think that's the fair call here. Oh, okay. Is that William Bonney? Yeah, I like William Bonney. So that would be Merchant Ships too, probably. Yeah, I like Merchant Ships as well. I haven't listened to Midwest Pen Pals, but I do like Merchant Ships and William Bonney a fair bit. William Bonney actually kind of started sitting a little bit outside of what I considered the kind of like era that we started leaning towards when we were making this. I would probably be inclined to put them on a more modern leading list. Yeah, I think they're very good. Ditro, we talked about them earlier.
I really like Ditro. I don't know that they did anything inventive.
I think they're very inventive. I think they sound extremely different from a lot of the bands in the genre and a lot of the bands on the list. The problem is I think there's something about them that's very dense. They're not exactly a catchy band, which is fine. They're what I would probably you know what I mean when I say they're like a band's band. Like, that's probably a stupid thing to say, but you might understand what I'm saying. Also, thank you, Ethan. Slapperific is 100% what we were going for.
We didn't do any slap bass, but we should have.
No, we're leaving that for the new metal covers.
In my first metalcore band, our bassist kept wanting to do slap bass, and we had to make him stop.
Why'd you do that?
Say.
My favorite one EP. Ooh.
Oh, God. I would say gospel, but I guess they're qualify as an LP. Is snowing screamo? I guess it's bordering.
Yeah, they're borderline. I don't like
gruff.
snowing very much, but I can see that.
I mean, honestly, well, we'll get to it, but I would say Swilaloon has a lot of Midwest emo.
God, who is my favorite 1 EP screamo band?
I don't know. I couldn't name one, honestly.
Does
I'm not that
Suffix
cool.
count? I think they only had one formal release other than a split. But I really, really like Suffix. So that might be mine. I'm trying to think of other bands that fit that genre, or not genre, that niche of just one EP. Not even one full length, but one EP. That's a great question. Yeah, this is probably a hot take. For me, Snowing and Algernon are not a sound that I get particularly into.
We compared to like people in general,
Compared to people,
we're very low on like emo revival in general.
yeah, I definitely skew them into emo revival.
There's some bands we like, but
I used to really like Algernon, and then I just had like a really hard like left turn off of it, where I was just like, I don't know why I can't back this.
I never liked them as far as the emo revival goes. I mean, Empire.
I like Empire. I think we had this whole discussion last
chat. Any band that's doing something that I feel like stands out, I like. But other than that, it's just like, I don't know. Doesn't do much for me personally. But I get why people like Snowing and Algernon and.
So the thing is, I used to like Cap'n Jazz a lot.
I love Cap'n Jazz, but a lot of that has to do with legacy and impact and the mystique of knowing what they created when they made the music they made.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, a lot of like what's interesting about a band is like it's not just the music, and people that pretend like they have an objective view of music is kind of annoying to me. Like music, a lot of it to me is the story that's around it. Like Loveless by My Bloody Valentine cost $500,000 to make, and they went to like 20 studios to record it. Like that kind of stuff is like cool to me and makes the album more interesting. And music that's just like doesn't have that level of like story to it. So I definitely tend to skew towards older, more seminal bands for that reason.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to like personality and mystique in a way.
Yeah. Aesthetic
that kind of
counts.
draws
I
me
used
to
not
something.
think that.
But no, aesthetic definitely does count, even if it's not in like an image sense. I think there's more to aesthetic than image.
Yeah, it's like the mythos that surrounds a band. Like what did they impact afterwards, and like what was happening around them, and like what went into what they were making.
So, Sean,
we've talked a lot about Sasscore, surprisingly.
This was almost a mall screamo tier list until we realized that we wanted to take a more dedicated stance on what should be there, and it was a little bit harder to determine, but I was originally working on a tier list with like Blood Brothers and Fear Before, Heavy Low Low, and things that kind of fell into that vein a little bit more.
We were in that path.
Yeah, and then we kind of
pivoted at like
the last second.
Today. We were like, let's do scrams instead. So then we got in Discord and listened to screamo albums for like 6 hours until we started streaming.
Yeah. But no, that's almost what this was. I don't know if I would say it was Sasscore specifically, but there was a lot kind of leaning in that direction. I think it would have been a list of, Norma Jeans and Chariots and Fear Before. Again, like quote-unquote mall screamo and like, panic chord metalcore.
Sasscore is like panic chord, hardcore,
like white belt core
with like there's like a queer element to it.
Yeah, it's definitely come back in a big way. I think.
I mean, it's not necessarily a queer element, but I feel like it kind of plays into it. The vocals are sassy is the best way to describe them. Like that, like. Yeah. Like it's not necessarily screaming, it's not singing.
I think you probably put Daughters in that kind of genre.
Yeah.
And Daughters, Blood Brothers is the obvious and easy answer there.
It's almost like spoken word with a sassy tone.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go into like the recent ones like See You Space Cowboy.
Yeah,
is
See You
a
Space
really
Cowboy.
easy answer. I might put Wrist Meat Razor in there.
Razor.
Yeah.
For recent stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely a genre that's kind of had
this
a
is
comeback.
weird, but I group Glassjaw in that.
Yeah, See You
In my
Space Cowboy
head.
in a big way.
Like Glassjaw has the sassy element to them, even
Yeah,
though they aren't that
I could see
genre. They have that kind of approach to vocals that are like.
We were talking about For Your Health in here a little bit earlier, and I have not listened to their new album yet, but I like everything that I've heard from them so far.
I'm going to be right back.
Go for it. Yeah, I think they are super sick. I just need to listen to their new stuff. Music keeps releasing at such like a rapid pace that I find myself like 6 albums behind on everything that I want to listen to before I even get around to it. Oh, there's been I feel like there's just been like a lot of good releases. Screamo leaning stuff in the past however many years. I mean, even just in the past year or two, there have been so many good albums that have come out. Like I was just talking about earlier, I think within the past few years, the genre as a whole has had a like really serious resurgence in a very, very big way. And again, I think that's probably why I don't want to do like a modern screamo tier list, because so many of those bands are active and I objectively like so many of them that I'm like, I don't want to even push anything into a negative because I have, nothing but good things to say about the bands that are doing that stuff now. And I guess that's the thing is, like, even if I wasn't into a band that was, like, out there doing it, I don't want to ever be a source of negative press, I guess. Not that I have any sort of, like, clout or impact, but I just don't want to, I don't want to add any negative voices to a discussion about bands that are, like, currently out there, like, doing stuff and releasing and touring and shit. Just because that life is a pain in the ass. And it's so difficult competing with every other band in the genre, even if it's not even so much a competition as much as it is like, just trying to, draw attention to yourself in the same context of other people that are doing something maybe similar. Yeah, there are a lot of new releases to keep up with now. Which again,
I know nothing about new releases.
I'm stoked to see more stuff coming out, like in a very big way, but at the same time, it is objectively really difficult to keep up with. And I think because I'm such a little baby about music, that I just get comfortable listening to stuff that I'm familiar with most of the time.
I just want to listen to Poppy,
Objectively, yes, I do just want to listen to Poppy. As in not Poppy music, but Poppy the artist.
Yeah.
Poppy is S tier. Poppy is S tier. That's who the wild card artist should have been. It should have been Poppy.
Yeah, she's basically screamo.
Basically.
Baby Metal and Poppy. Screamo legends.
Duh. So, Ditro, we said that they are good, they are interesting, they are dense. Yeah, I've got New For Your Health on my list for sure. Idiot Who Edits brought it up earlier in the stream, so that's 2 people mentioning it in the span of the past few hours. And I'm already, like, definitely into what I've heard from them.
Are they a Steve Brule reference?
For Your Health. Yeah, I love Fear Before. They're definitely in my top 5 bands. I absolutely adore them. I am going to, and again, I'm giving this the hard disclaimer that this is not a static rating, but I'm going to put Ditro B
I think that's fair.
until we determine whether they should go up or they should go down.
Does that bump anyone up or down? Is the question.
That's a good question. All right, we're referring back to chat on this. If we put Ditro in B tier, do you believe, based on what you were seeing here, that anyone should be moving up or anyone should be moving down?
I would personally say you might be able to move Antioch Arrow down to C.
All right.
I feel like Impact is doing most of the heavy lifting for them.
I agree entirely. Chat.
As far as their actual music and listening to it, I don't know if I prefer them over any of the bands in B.
See, that's where I stand too. If we want to take the subjective take, okay, Idiot Who Edits thinks I Hate Myself should be bumped up. How do we feel about bumping Antioch Arrow down? I know that they have pretty substantial impact here, but I think they are skirting by on a lot of impact, as Adam just said as well. And also, I still make the claim that they kind of jumped ship off the genre, too, and kind of moved into a weird, sassy indie rock vibe. Okay. I'm cool with bumping I Hate Myself up.
I think I am, too. Yeah, I think I would bump AA down and I Hate Myself up if Ditro's going to sit in B.
Yeah.
I think that's a good...
Yo, we're going to the bathroom.
Well, that's a big honor.
This
based
is a
on
big
what he
step.
said before.
This is a big step.
All pooping.
Yeah, we're here with you all the way. All right, Antioch Arrow's going down. I Hate Myself is going up. I'm cool with this curve right now. I can roll with this. All right. I don't know who has or if there are hot takes to have about Loma Prieta. Yo, Sean, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate you dropping by and chatting.
Thanks, Sean.
Have a
night
fantastic night or day or weekend. I guess it's
weekend
probably
everywhere.
it's the weekend everywhere. Listen, man, I don't know how time zones work. All right. Loma Prieto.
I'm listening to For Your Health right now, by the way.
Oh, sick.
I'll let you know.
I'm currently dumping that ramen I had at the start of the stream.
Good,
Everything comes full circle. That's the circle of life. The circle of shit. That's a good band name, actually.
I'll be honest. Loma Prieta kind of sits in the middle for me, like around B, but it's because I don't have a ton of experience with them.
So that's my thing with Loma is I would be inclined to say that if Ditro is in B, I would say Loma's in B. But I also really like Loma Prieta. But I also really like Ditro. So that's the difficulty here. Retro Rudy, thank you so much. That's awesome. I appreciate that. It's rare that anyone takes the time to drop our stuff anywhere that we haven't dropped it. So that's fucking awesome. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Loma Prieta is an interesting one because I was like a probably like card carrying Loma Prieta fanboy for a while. And then I kind of fell off of them when they essentially became a power violence band. Because that just wasn't so much my bag. Yeah, we need the Circle of Shit Dump Ramen Split EP 7-inch record store day exclusive.
Circle takes a shit.
Circle takes the shit. Portraits of ass.
It's just dick pics.
La Dispoop. I'm mad that I'm laughing as hard as I can at that.
Hey, upvote us in r/emo.
Yeah, upvote our bullshit in r/emo if you have read it.
No one gives a shit about our video.
Sergio, I have a D tier sense of humor, and the D stands for dad. That's where my brain lies about 120% of the time. Yeah, I wish we had some background music. I would be tempted to put something on, but again, I don't want to get DMCA'd. Do you think we'll get DMCA'd if we play that For Your Health in here?
I think we might.
Okay.
I mean, it's on Spotify.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
Put your own music on. Put our emo rap song on.
I can do that. Play 3 seconds. 3 seconds of what?
Oh,
okay.
shit.
We're back. Sorry, I don't know why OBS is having a shit fit tonight. It just keeps like no buenoing on us. Yeah, I want to play something, but I am afraid of it trying to cut it out of the
We literally got hit with like 10 DMCA's last stream.
last
so
stream.
We're kind of like
yeah, we're being very shaky about it. Yeah, I think I would be inclined to say basically the same thing about Loma as we said about Ditro, in that I'm like, I really like you, and I think you're a good band, but you'll either go up or you'll stay in B. Is that a fair call?
Like are they pushing anyone out of A? You know?
Right, that's the question, you know. I don't know who from A right now goes further up, but I also don't know who from B right now goes further down. We put a lot of thought into this shit. You know who's next.
Well, you know who it is.
Yeah. Idiot Who Edit says we should search the emo violence band on Bandcamp, and if it's a band that's not on Spotify, we should play it. Which is a fair call. I don't think we'll get DMCA'd from.
Can you even see what my shirt says?
I can't. You're really small for me on where I can view the screen, and I'm afraid to change windows or it's gonna freeze your.
It's my Sweela Loon shirt.
Oh well, then that's perfect. You were ready.
I was ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna see about this. Let's go to Bandcamp, and let's.
I mean, would Henning really get mad if we played his music?
It's a good question. It's on Top Shelf, so we might get DMCA'd. Emo violence. Let's see. Can we search tags? Did I miss that? Music tagged with emo violence. All right. What do we got? Okay, so are you on Spotify right now, Adam?
Yeah.
Can you look up and see if a band called The Same Deep Water as You is on in one word?
Yeah. Oh, there's a Cure song.
The Same Deep Water as You, one word.
No.
All right, that's what we're listening to.
All right, let's see if they get us. We're gonna get sued by a bunch of teenagers from like Ann Arbor, Maine.
We need to sort out the volume though. We'll pull this down about 30%. It's really loud. There we go. That's good. All right. Now we have background music. Yeah, I'm changing volume off of my browser. But if it's still too loud, let me know.
It's a little loud for me. I don't know how it is in the stream.
Yeah, it might be skewing a little loud. Either way, this is sick. I'm going to, I don't know how to follow people, but yeah, that's cool. I'm into that. Oh, we'll do this. YouTube. YouTube will let us change the volume. Oh, we just got a bunch of live videos. Well, we tried our best. It's a bunch of Cure songs. So I guess we're going back to Sweet Saloon now. I'm just going to sit back and let you do your thing.
What do you mean?
I
probably
think
heard this band before I did.
it doesn't matter. You've got the passion and the fire in your loins.
This band is a top 5 band for me. They're easy S. I think it's no secret that we tend both to be on the melodic side of the screamo spectrum. The Cure is S tier screamo.
True.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, I don't know what there is to say about Sweet Saloon. Like, I just love the music. Like, they capture a certain vibe that I really, really, really like. They've got like kind of a semi-mathy guitar approach. Every release is good. Their last release is good, but it's okay. Like, compared to the other stuff, it's whatever. But like, the run from Quiet Pull the Strings through Air through Riala is just insane.
Hey, fuck yeah, Pantera.
Hell yeah, dude.
I like a little meat with my potatoes.
I mean, I don't know. Sweet Saloon is the S of S for me. They're the top band in this whole list.
Okay.
For me.
I don't know why I say okay like I'm surprised by any of that. I was 100% aware of that before we came in here. I would also put Sweet Saloon in S tier for sure. They don't sound like any other band on this list.
No one does what they do.
Yeah.
They're the most emo of any of these bands, I would say.
I think so as well. Their
but they're
guitar
still
tone
somehow very, very screamo.
Mm-hmm. They do a lot
like,
of screamo things in a very not screamo way.
Yeah, the shoegaze influence from like Riala onward. Yeah, they're just compositionally and just the general vibe of their music is so like nice. Like, they have really happy sounding, which is kind of like rare on a list like this.
Yeah, they have a lot of like kind of like major key sort of sounds to them.
Yeah, they do a lot more in that vein than a lot of other bands in this genre do. And I think it benefits them and it makes them stand out. But their chaotic parts are very chaotic. They're still anchored in a very melodic sense of songwriting. And I mean, the guitar tone on every album is like perfect for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, the guitar tone is unlike anything else, honestly.
The Air EP is like peak screamo. Like, if you haven't listened to Air EP by Sweet Saloon, then I don't know what you're doing. It's like the best screamo release maybe I've ever heard. They're like a top 5 band for me easily, and top band on this list.
Yeah, I'm comfortable putting Sweet Saloon in S. They are also probably one of my favorite bands on this list, and I think they are unique in a way that no other band kind of captures. And they have a certain uniqueness that I don't feel like gets old. Like, I don't get sick of them doing their thing. Also, Fictional Frontier says, I love the first Circle Takes the Square, but the second album is booty.
As in At the Roots Undo? Or As the Roots Undo?
No, Fictional Frontier is probably saying they love As the Roots Undo, but don't like Decompositions.
Oh.
I like Decompositions, but I can understand why people wouldn't like it.
Idiot Who for like 2 seconds though.
Yeah.
Okay, so this For Your Health definitely has sass elements, I will say.
Yeah, I need to listen to that.
It's got some sassy, it's got some scramsy, it's got some mathcore kind of in that. Yeah, Sweetaloon is just a god tier band for me personally.
Yeah.
And then if you like shoegaze kind of stuff, the singer and a couple of the other dudes had a band called Sore Eyelids that I highly recommend as
Yeah, they're
well.
very good.
Similar guitar and drum work to Sweetaloon, just with clean singing instead of screaming, basically. A little more shoegazy type guitar, but basically in the same vein melodically.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty easy for us to drop them in S. I don't think either of us disagree with that standpoint, and I don't think there's any opinion in chat that could come in where we're like, oh, I've thought twice about this now.
Yeah, they're the S of the S for me. They're S plus.
I think I think that's a well-earned S. Yes, Idiot Who Edits, I fully agree with that. Every 2000s post-hardcore emo pop band has at least one song on their first 2 albums that's just straight screamo vocals.
Yeah,
I'd say a lot of those bands are just have a couple songs that are just straight up screamo songs.
Yeah, early Underoath is a prime example. Silverstein has some songs that
Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else has some stuff.
My Chemical Romance on Bullets has some songs that definitely kind of veer in that direction. Thursday for sure. Oddly, early Piebald is pretty much just screamo.
Hey, you're part of it, dude. Piebald, one song. That's all I know.
I love Piebald. Okay.
I get them confused with Pinfold, but I like Pinfold a lot.
Pinfold is good too. Yeah, Funeral Diner is S for me.
This is all you guys. I never listened to them somehow. Don't kill me.
I love them. They're one of the first bands in the genre that I got really super into. And if we want to talk about quote unquote like template screamo, like bands that really just do the screamo sound, I think Funeral Diner is like the bee's knees for that. I think they are like the cream of the crop. They are, I have nothing bad to say about them. I'm not going to say that they're the world's most unique band, but if we needed a band to put up here that I felt was straightforward screamo, I think they would be the band to go in the S tier.
Yeah, because they got a lot of post rock, and we got the power violence leaning punky stuff in Page 99, but we don't really have a template screamo band in S tier.
Yeah. And I definitely don't feel like counting them out based on the fact that they kind of are the most one of the most pure representations of the genre, so to speak. I think, for me they are S. I love them. So, that's a pretty easy call for me, and it might be a little bit biased, but I think it's, again, if we keep going by the whole dynamic ranking concept, I feel like they kind of expand upon a lot of the Portraits of Past type sounds. They're more templatey than I Hate Myself, and I like them more. I think they are, and this is maybe a hot take, but I objectively think Funeral Diner is better than Jerome's Dream, Seisha, and Orchid. So I would be more than happy to put them in S tier.
That makes sense to me.
So that leaves us with 2. And somehow, I don't know. I feel like these 2 might be uneventful. Or really eventful. I don't know.
Do we get a bruh moment?
We got a bruh moment, and I'm wondering what that is.
Emo boomer. Is that what we are?
Yeah,
Or is that
we're
like
both
people
emo
Mike Kinsella's
boomers.
age?
So Sergio, you like them but could never say that. You like them
Hey,
but could
we're
never
here to say the
what.
things you can't say.
We're saying it so you don't have to.
We're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and again, that's Funeral Diner for me is I am more than happy to say that there's like an angle of subjectivity in my rating there, but they are S tier for me. Again, they're one of the bands that kind of like made me like actually like get into the genre in a big way. Yeah, I don't know. I just maybe better is not the right phrasing, but I definitely like them more. I'll phrase it that way. That's just my bold and honest take is that I like Funeral Diner more than Seisha, Orchid, and Jerome's Dream. Don't have a huge breadth of discography to go off of, but what's there I think is hot, hot, hot. Yeah, Jerome's Dream megaphones. Jerome's Dream, I said it before when we were looking at them. Their megaphone stuff and their like pretty much all of their comeback stuff is really not hitting for me, and it pulled them down in my book in a big way. Yo, Cuerpo en Viaje, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Yes, Funeral Diner is top tier. Thank you. I needed to be backed. I need support in this decision because I don't take the S tier lightly. There's a lot of weight behind that S tier, and I don't put anything there unless I'm fucking feeling it. Yeah.
Has to pass the cry test.
I saw that they were re-recording it with screams, which, and again, maybe this is like the other side of my brain firing off where I'm like, well, maybe you should have just done that the first time. But either way, I am curious to see where it goes with screams. The music was not bad by any means, and I'm glad that they're back. And maybe in a post-COVID world, we can all see Jerome's Dream again with screams. But yeah, so we've been left with two bands now. So we've got Ray in first, and I actually don't know where to put them.
They're a tough one. I really, really like Rain.
I do too.
And they were one of my entry points into the genre.
Same.
I honestly feel like this might be weird, but I think you could put Rain in A and bump Seisha to B.
Oh!
I don't know if that's a hot take.
All right. Okay.
I can also see Rain just being a B band.
Yeah, Who Calls So Loud is sick. Okay, so I'm not against the idea of moving Rain to A and pulling another band down. The filial riff is I've got a lot of good things to say about pianos. I don't know where they'll.
Are we talking about the filial riff?
Yeah, that half filial riff in the chat.
About it last time.
The F's in the chat stand for filial riff.
Don't do that to Seisha. That's a fair argument. We don't have to bump anyone out, but I'm just considering it since we did say this was a dynamic list.
Yeah. They're not. Rain is not B.
Rain is not beating Orchid. Rain is not beating Gospel. They're not beating.
All right, I'm gonna ask
like
chat
for me,
to.
I like them more than I hate myself, but I don't know.
I like them more than I hate myself as well.
They might bump I hate myself to back to average B tier, and Rain goes a slight tick higher.
All right, I want to
I'd be
ask
okay with
chat.
that.
Chat, what do you think about B tier right now? Do you see any potential ups? Do you see any potential downs?
I feel like
Because
people
this is
might
a
complain about
contentious point.
Joshua Fit for Battle being in B just based on legacy. I don't know.
I don't know. That was the first thing that I saw in chat was Joshua Fit for Battle as a B band, and I fully agree with that. I think they're the most average band, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they are. That I'm not writing. I ain't writing home about them, you know. Yeah. Sergio says Joshua Fit for Battle B looks good. Yeah, I can't disagree. I think it's the right place. I don't know. It seems crude. It's going to really fuck up the curve, but I'm fine with Rain A without
too.
moving anything.
I mean, we said this list has more stuff we like in general.
Yeah,
And
this
so
is
it's fair that
true.
it skews higher.
Yeah, I think it's
We
totally
picked a lot
fair.
of our favorite bands and didn't pick. We didn't talk about bands that were
we
going to be just
objectively
B
don't
bands
like.
for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
As I think this. Yeah, that is a good way to put it. Is this is probably a pretty personally leaning tier list. Again, there are a lot of bands on here that I objectively really like that I think are still in like B and C. Yeah, I think I would say bottom A is a fair call.
That makes sense.
That's how I would probably phrase it too. Yeah, we'll put Ray in A. I think that's good. Album in D tier. So I put The Saddest Landscape in D tier.
Neither of us are.
Neither
really...
of us like them. I like Yaphet Koto, but I don't have as long of a listening history with them for me to
we
feel
actually listened to them
confident.
a little bit, like probably 4 songs today.
Yeah.
Together.
We spent a lot of today catching up on bands that we used to listen to more consistently. And we were like, anything that we didn't feel like we had, like, I don't know, the ability to make a concise agreement on that we could, like, actively judge it, we just kind of pulled it off. And, like, took it off the list entirely. And Yaphet Koto was one of those. Yeah, so somehow we landed with Pianos last. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but I do think Old Pride and The Lack Long After are very, very good albums in the genre.
What's really weird is I like every album they've put out, and I think they've gotten worse with every album. Is that a fair take?
I don't know if I'd say they've gotten worse. I would say that, I mean, they're definitely different.
Old Pride is their best album.
Old Pride is the album that I listen to the most for sure, because Filial Riff.
Filial Riff, dude.
But I objectively, as a band, like Pianos more than any of these bands.
That's fair. I do too. But we're doing this specific genre. But in the genre,
they're also better than any of these bands.
I think they're a B band.
I think so too.
Even with their like going into singing emo stuff. Do I need to play the Filial Riff?
Yeah, I think this is the problem with having a lot of context to the discussion on why Antioch Arrow is where they are. Again, I respect them for impact, but I definitely don't like them as much as most of the bands above them, and I think they I don't like their weird, sassy indie rock stuff very much. Yeah, Adam, why don't we just get you to play guitar behind the stream the whole time? Just put you to work. Yeah, this album's higher than C just for that riff.
Yeah, I'd say B.
Yeah.
Their entries into the genre were very, very, very solid. Brought a lot of people, impact-wise, they brought a lot of people into the genre and then allowed them to look back.
I
To the
agree.
stuff that came before them. And they were really good songs in the genre, really emotive.
If we want to talk about through lines too, there's a lot of comparable points between Ray and pianos specifically for me from a musical standpoint. So this is the part of the chat where you just serenade us away. Yeah, I'm really curious if anyone has any specific thoughts on placements here and has a strong argument as to why it should be something different. Because there are certain bands on this list where I'm pretty fluid on where they're sitting right now. Yeah, so... And this is kind of a culmination of both of our thought processes on this as well. But, yeah, I'm not really glued to a lot of it. I think the only ones that I'm pretty glued to are actually the S tier.
Do the screaming part. What's he say? I'll be so old, finally seeing, picking right days as they come. Or the Seisha
Are we talking
one.
about Seisha?
I...
Fictional Frontier says Orchid and Rain should be S tier. Idiot Who Edits says it is a good list. I don't know.
I can't put Seisha in A. I could put Orchid in
S.
I don't know if I put. Sorry, I don't know if I'd put Seisha in S. I could put Orchid in S maybe. I think for us, we didn't say anything about it, but I think it kind of came between Page 99 and Orchid, and we put Page 99 in S.
Yeah. I like Page 99 a fair bit more than I like Orchid. But again, if we want to talk about the hot three, Jerome's Dream, Seisha, Orchid, I like Orchid the most.
I'll be so old, finally seeing, picking right days as they come, yeah.
Otherwise, I think of all of the bands in A, Orchid's probably the only one that could sensibly be moved up a tier, in my opinion, based on the criteria that we have set so far. You know what?
I'm fine with it. I love
Fuck
Orchid,
it. Let's go.
I didn't want to be
S tier, baby.
A boat rocker. There it is. There it is.
Yo, yes, that Suicide Silence in the style of Orchid idea. That is. We've been talking about that on a near daily basis.
We actually have already mouthed out the way the riffs would sound.
It makes so much sense.
Where is your God? Where's your God? Where's your fucking God? That could be an Orchid part. Yeah, I think Orchid S. That feels right to me.
Yeah,
is there anyone
I think
from
so
B
too.
that should be
that should be moved up? Oh,
I was gonna say moved down. I'm just looking at the curve of the list.
Yeah, I am too. All right.
I don't know.
Chat, what are we looking at in B tier? Anybody going up? Anybody going down? Are we drafting anyone to A or to C? I like Orchid more than Jerome's Dream a fair bit.
I do too.
I have a lot more listening history with them, so I think going on the personal level, I gotta pull them up. If it were to be any of those three, it would have to be them for me, I think. La Quiete to A. Hmm. See, La Quiete, I'm pretty hard line on B with them. And again, this is probably a more subjective take in that out of all the bands on here, they're probably one of the bands that I don't as deeply remember their discography, and I haven't spent as much time with them.
We've pivoted to from first to last.
Yeah, this is a from first to last stream now.
My bad. We were talking about what were we saying? We were gonna do note to self.
I said
in the
you should
style
do
of something.
note to self in the style of Counterparts.
Oh
like
yeah, would
melodic,
you guys like that?
metalcore? I think that would
doing
work
like a
really
melodic
well.
hardcore cover of Note to Self by From First to Last. I don't know how to play any La Quiete. Sorry.
Yeah, and we're really hesitant to play anything in the chat because we got DMCA'd like 15
But
times
if you want, I can
last
play
week.
La Dispute.
The other law band on the list. I think I saw you in my sleep, Batman. I think I saw you in my dreams. 02's favorite band.
Darling. Oh, we do have a La Dispute cover that we've been sitting on for a while.
Oh
It's
my
kind of
god. Okay, actually, I am going to play the guy on scooter meme. If it gets us DMCA'd, then we can delete it. Guy on scooter. La Disputer. This is good.
Friend, he's not gonna let us do stuff together, and there's no way it's gonna be able to work. And you're gonna have to come to a point where you're gonna choose him or me, and you're gonna choose him. You will, because that's what
Oh, this is
everyone
just
does.
okay. We need the
Always happens. It's never
actual.
all about me. Because guess what? That's what's gonna happen. He's not gonna let me be your friend. He's not gonna let us do stuff together, and there's no way it's gonna be able to work. And you're gonna have to come to a point where you're gonna choose him or me, and you're gonna choose him. You will, because that's what everyone does. That's what always happens. It's never me.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good. Just Oh, does that mean we have to watch where is it? There's a part like this every basement. It's not coming up. Damn. Oh well. Yeah, that's a good meme. Good meme. Yeah. Unless this is my speak now or forever hold your peace moment. If you've got a hard line opinion on any other movements being made from this list, and you can back it with cited sources,
with science,
then we can make
with facts and logic.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold your beer. Wait. He even says hold your beer. Does this mean are we waiting for something?
I don't know if he listens to more than like 3 of these bands, so I don't know.
I'm all out of beer, Ethan.
What contention he could possibly have.
Speak now or forever hold your pizza. Oh, yeah, we're going MLA style.
We're talking about pizza?
Yeah, I only eat MLA style pizza. Yeah. Yeah, this is the saved list. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be on Tier Maker. If anyone wants to remake it.
If you want to contend our elite
if anyone wants to create a better one than the one that we made, then you are more than welcome to do so. It is called Noteworthy Screamo / Scrams Band Tier List. So I'm going to save that, cut, print it.
Emo taste tester.
Delicious.
Tastes like salt.
I did say before we logged out of here that I was going to see what else came up as a Scrams tier list. Oh yeah, this is New Jack City. Can we just no, not entirely. Okay, so this is a good combo of new and old, and also stuff that I just don't know. But I do know this one. I think that's Suffix, right? Maybe. I don't recognize a lot of album artwork. I wrote haikus. We'll throw you an S.
Community rank.
Yeah, let's view the community rank. There are none there. Damn.
No one likes screamo.
No, Screamo is canceled in
Screamo
2021.
only exists on SputnikMusic.com.
That's true. This one's just called Scrams List. Okay, so yeah, people got to start.
They have a lot of dispute.
Do that? Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay, I don't feel
So we're not
weird about
totally off.
including them.
We're not totally off base with that.
They have a lot of the same stuff we had. Gospel on here.
Yeah. This is a good list. This is a good list. I like this. I can appreciate this list. What's the community rank here? Okay, here we go. Somebody ranked one. Touche an S, Seisha an S, I wrote haikus an S, Lord Snow is definitely S. We got Orchid, Envy. What is this one again? Why can't I remember that? Oh, yeah, that's the other Envy.
Yeah. I was
Circle
gonna say,
Takes
I
the
know
Square.
that album.
Loma. So this is just albums for Spire. Okay, yeah, this is just albums. All right. Saddest Landscape B tier.
Sweetaloon B tier.
Wait, where is that? Oh, yeah, that's not okay. This list is canceled.
And if it's albums and they have Air EP, I don't know.
All right, let's anime girls.
The most beautiful girls on the planet.
Yo, hold on. All right. Speedwagon. Get out of here. Get out of here, ladies. There's only one man for me.
Yeah, this is the list. Finalize it, print it,
Yep. Done.
send the email. I want to speak to the manager.
There it is. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have sufficiently tackled the tiers for one evening. We appreciate everyone. Yeah. Fuck these hoes. Just speedwagging. We appreciate everyone for dropping by. Please, if you haven't, go to our YouTube page that is right here. Take a quick hot second to subscribe, like, comment, whatever else YouTube people usually say. You can listen to our new hit single that we just posted.
Oh, we could play that before we close.
Yeah.
If someone hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah, are we going to fade out on our own song?
Yeah, let's listen to our own song.
Yeah, we make covers of songs in the style of other songs. So if that's your thing, you can subscribe to our channel. And yeah. Thanks for hanging, pals.
We will try to stream as close to weekly.
Yeah,
as we
as
can.
close to weekly as possible. And then next time we're just going to listen to the filial riff on repeat.
I will stream the. I'll be streaming the Filial Rift tomorrow from 10 to 12.
10 to 12 a.m. to
Just over and
p.m.
over.
All right, y'all.
So what we did with this was took Parking Lot by Mineral and ruined it.
Yeah, if you're into potentially offensive songs, that's apparently what we do. Yeah, I'm gonna drop our Twitter in the chat as well for those who are not on that train yet either. All right.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for hanging. Good night,
We'll let the
pals.
song play and we'll peace out.
Yeah.
This part kicks ass.